Welcome, everybody. I know it's been a while, but we are back with the Meatheads podcast.
Moves done. Fuck with De Niro, I got a Snyder extended clip, so who wanna play heroes? Go bad shit like Ozzy, I was born in the darkness. Oh, you the wolf, so we pull up and you're harmless. So pray to
Burberry scars, stripping Perry on, living like a comet, moving amongst the stars. $100,000 sports car.
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
How's everybody's father feeling today?
Go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself. Let me talk to you.
That's right. We're here to talk to you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Circle of Debate and Top Rope Wrestling Talk right here, ladies and gentlemen, episode 185. We're here to change the world, Craig. Not just the city, but the world.
The world.
The world.
The world, Craig.
The world.
The world, Craig. Shit, not just the city, the world.
That is right. Oh, my
Oh,
God.
Morgue Monster.
What's going on,
Oh,
Morgan?
hey.
Happy Friday, everyone.
I haven't seen him in forever, bro. So
I know. I can't wait for Meatheads to come back soon. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, the host Steve is what I've been seeing here with my other two hosts, mis compadres, mi familia, my sangre, my soul, my everything. Because it's celebration for birthday weekend. And that is, of course, he is the extreme of podcasting. Because it's his birthday on Sunday, folks. So you better make sure you hit him up and celebrate. So the birthday celebration started today. He is the notorious one himself. D-O-N.
that's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy, your birthday boy, almost. The greatest prediction champ in podcast history. You know what I'm about to say next, right? Let's fucking go.
Oh, too bad fucking YouTube. Always happen with that shit. And of course, we have the OnlyFans of podcasting, folks. The man that charges you $3.99 for privately and enjoyably. I'll tell you that because he enjoys us with his presence and his
We'd be
words.
gyrating in front of Morgan. I don't know if we should do that. I don't know.
Morgan
His
would not know what
TVMA.
it is.
His TVMA. He knew what he bought into.
Great, what is
Man,
going
what's
on?
up,
Oh, we're good. We are good. That's right. Yes, happy birthday. There you go. See,
Hey.
you're great. But ladies and gentlemen,
Thank you, sir.
because he's the Mussolini.
And Kennedy, he's a little fucking Pepsi.
Ah, that's right.
Hello, ladies.
I fuck it.
Time to get diabolical.
It is. It's time. Pepsi, what's happening, baby?
Nothing much, man. It's been a good week for wrestling. I can tell you that much. It's been a good week to be a fan. But then again, it's been like that for a long time.
Oh man, there's been a lot of damn shit happening, man. Pepsi Phil, I don't think you will like what my dad drinks.
Morg, you mean this?
Morg, your job is to steal his drink and replace it with a Pepsi.
There you go.
Don't do that, bro. Don't do that. You'll get grounded. You won't even be able to play video games and shit. Don't do that. Don't listen to this.
Just a heads up, I am Uncle Let You Run with Scissors. Let me be your bad influence in your life.
You know it's bad when out of the two of us, Pepsi Phil is the bad influence. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna leave it there.
He's like, I can do. Yep, he got you. There you go.
Don't do that.
Replace it with a Pepsi. That's right.
Live, Morgan. Live.
That's right.
No mid Morgan. Okay.
We're about to talk about a lot of things happening today. Of course, recapping Revolution, not every match, just overall, of course. It was incredible. You started watching along. We're going to recap just overall, but not every match in details. But it was an incredible event. And also, NXT Roadblock that happened this past Tuesday. It's not what expected, but hey, you know what? We'll talk about it and we'll give our thoughts about that and the direction we're going with that. So you guys wait and see. And the update of the New Japan Cup. And of course, a new member of the House of Torture, which I was like, what? Did not expect that either, but we'll have to wait and see. And giving our thoughts on currently who is in the Hall of Fame of this year, 2024. Who we're going to give our thoughts and who should induct who. That is the biggest question for our top two. And the first one was announced earlier today. And Dynamite recap. A lot of things changing the world. A lot of things happening, folks. That we're going to go ahead and talk about today and much more that we have here. Because there's a lot of things. What is going on, Dylan? What is going on, man?
What's happening, my guy? Silent Assassin in the building.
That's right, because you are World Elite.
World Elite. World Elite.
That's right. Subscribe to the World Elite podcast, folks, man. They're incredible. I love them. And the greatest thing here, it's time for Revolution. I want the Pepsi Clear or Blue Pepsi Black.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
Oh, Echo Cooler, you're bringing me back, bro.
What's going on, Dango? That's right.
Dango.
Follow the new our familia over here that we're here on Sunday with a watch along with this, the Outrage Zone.
You see the channel?
YouTube channel.
Subscribe to that shit.
That's right. Eli, what's happening? What is going on, my brother?
Dude. Eli, what's up, man?
I got to have you on the show, Eli.
Always holding it down.
That's right, absolutely. But just very brief, folks. We're just gonna go ahead and we're not gonna touch very too much. Probably an NXT Roadblock, because I know you heard us on Sunday if you watched the watch along. We gave pretty much the grading what we did for Revolution. But we're just gonna just go, for people that are listening on audio platforms, if you did not follow us on Sunday for the watch along on the YouTube channel, we'll just give you our recap very brief overall. And we're gonna also break down not specifically every match for Roadblock, but the unexpected events that happened where really got me was like, what's going on over here? Where are your direction going with this, HBK? But we're gonna combine them together, folks. So I'm gonna let Pepsi Phil handle this. Pepsi Phil, the floor is yours. Take it away, my brother.
AEW Revolution might very well be their best pay-per-view without any gimmicks outside of the matches themselves, like a guest star, a show up, or whatever, period. Pound for pound, the best one they have done in probably a couple of years. The rest of them have been good, but this is probably, and I think this is the first 9 I have given one of their pay-per-views. Match of the night, obviously, I think we all agree was Will Ospreay versus Konosuke Takeshita.
Takeshita. That's what
it is. And like I said, I don't know, y'all missed Dom crying during the Sting retirement match. I wish I was there to hold him. It was literally one of the most emotional.
My wife had to hold me. It was that emotional.
It was and honestly, I don't most retirement matches you don't really get into because you just think, okay, it's just the last match, whatever. We'll see him somewhere in the back room or something. But this was, if you grew up with Sting, this is the Kayla, who was also with the watch along. Managed to keep her up longer than we probably should have.
Yes.
Oh, much
Sorry,
longer.
Caleb.
You are a trooper, homegirl. Thank you so much
Mhm.
for hanging into the bitter end.
But honestly,
And for showing up to my birthday bash.
Mhm. and just long story short, Revolution was a beautiful pay-per-view. Even the 0 hour matches were great. But again, Osprey did not disappoint, and we got there. I think this, in my opinion, was probably the best we've seen Kanosuke look at
Absolutely.
AEW. Like, I mean, and not that he wasn't great, but this is the first time he's actually able to show out. I mean,
I agree.
so I was very happy with that. Like, because that kid, we've watched him, and we've all said the same thing. We just waited for him to have a breakout match, and I think this was it. So,
Awesome.
as for NXT Roadblock, it was solid. I think I gave it a 7.5, 8 for the night. It was a good event. But honestly, most of it was kind of predictable. I enjoyed the Regal Dempsey. I enjoyed the women's tag match was delightful. The Kabuki Warriors are a little bit insane, which I'm okay with.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise, Trick showed up. Didn't see that coming from a mile away.
Whoop that Trick.
Exactly.
Trick.
But honestly, in like this new, like I think we talked about it in the thread. So thankfully, this is no longer NXT 2.0. Yeah, that was also a beautiful.
You're not wrong, Eli.
You're not wrong about that, Eli. I absolutely agree with that.
So yeah, but I think with NXT Roadblock, I refer to this as their upstart era now, because I think this is them trying to make NXT a main brand at this point. Because 2.0 we've all agreed was a bit of a disappointment. I have said it'll never be black and gold again. But this new era, honestly, it's a good breakout. I think we've seen some breakout people. Carmelo Hayes, as far as I'm concerned, either needs to come up and join the Hurt Business 2.0, which we won't want to call it the Hurt Business because I guess copyright laws. But if we're going to do it, but at the very least, I feel like
how you not gonna call something that you own? That's bullshit.
That's a bullshit.
That is bullshit. But
bullshit trips.
Like I don't understand it, but I feel like they should. But yeah, but Carmelo Hayes needs to come up to the main roster because I think definitely after this rivalry with Trick, and Trick wins because Trick will be the new heir apparent after Carmelo goes up. So, but like I said, honestly, this week was a great week because we had Revolution, you had NXT Roadblock. I'm not even gonna lie to you, the even Raw was actually decent. So.
Well, yeah. Well, you were there with Raw Dog De Niro, Mike De Niro, of course.
Yeah, we actually had
Monday,
it was, and trust me, I highly recommend it. It was hilarious.
It's bad that I slept through it on my couch, jumped up, and got in.
Oh, I ain't gonna lie, Mike had me going, but there were points where I was like, I could probably fall asleep and no one would notice.
I think you guys signed off by the time I commented, like, I missed it. Start over.
But yeah, but honestly, yeah, I was happy with both of these events. Obviously, Revolution won in my heart, but NXT Roadblock was a solid. Like it wasn't a pay-per-view because you can't compare the two. But honestly, as a night, as a I guess we'll call a premium live event night, it was great. It was what it was. So, and like I said, it was a good. It was just a good collect. Like NXT's always been a good crop of kids coming out, and being under Shawn Michaels' tutelage, they've been doing a pretty good job. And we've talked about this. I like Tony D'Angelo. I think he's a great wrestler. I just hate his gimmick. Because honestly, I'm really getting tired of the Italian Goomba.
I did enjoy the music and entrance though, as Eli said. I enjoyed that.
Yes, I do love Eli's idea though. I'll tell you that what he's mentioning about Carmelo and Trick and the unsanctioned or 3 stages of hell. I totally agree with that.
I mean, it'll probably definitely be a cage match. I feel like it'll be something in the cage. So, but honestly, for me, it was like I said, D'Angelo was great.
Thank you, sir. And thank you for showing up to the watch along, man. We always have fun with you, bro.
That's right. Yeah. Shout out to the chef, Brian Cook, man. Always been with us.
So, all right, that was pretty much it for me.
All right. Notorious. What do you got for us, brother?
Man, I mean, Revolution was so damn good from top to bottom. I think Pepsi Phil might have said it. I know Eli mentioned something earlier. Like every single match on the card felt special for one way or the other, or for one reason or the other. My only gripe was they cut that shit off before Sting made his speech. I don't know if you saw the watch along, you already know this. If you didn't, I'm gonna tell you right now. I was emotional after the match, and then they cut it off, and all of a sudden, all that sobby stuff went just stopped, and my face changed, and I was mad as fuck. Because I wanted to hear what Sting had to say. I wanted to see the locker room empty out. I wanted to see all that shit, and I didn't want to have to go to YouTube to watch it later.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So that is literally the only complaint. Outside of that, it was a 9.5 quality pay-per-view. I think the closest thing that I enjoyed to that was probably Wrestle Dream.
Which one?
The one from last year, right?
The only one. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I always get Wrestle Dream and Forbidden Door.
I know. Me too. It gets kind of confusing, but I'm with you. Yeah, one last year.
Yeah. That was a really great pay-per-view, and then the ones after that were kind of like, ugh, this sucks. And maybe it's because I expect too much from AEW, because whenever they have a pay-per-view, they tend to kill it.
No, you have the exact same expectation for every pay-per-view every company has. No, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, you just have standards for your pay-per-view and what you expect.
When it comes to WWE, I have been giving them a little slack because of the end events. And now with Trips, it's kind of come up.
Yeah.
So for a while there, when Trips was having a pay-per-view that was good, I was like, wow, this was better than my expectations. Thank you, Kayla. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you survived the watch along. I was genuinely concerned.
I mean,
but I enjoyed it. I will agree that Will Ospreay and Takeshita was match of the night. I think that man might have had 2 matches of the night in a matter of days, but I'm gonna put a pin in that.
Yeah.
Roadblock. I mean, you can say PPV, you can say PLE. You're wrong on all counts. It was NXT's Battle of the Belts. Look no further than the Kabuki Warriors and the NXT Women's Tag Champions fighting for whatever the fuck. Yeah. But it served its purpose. It was good. I will forever love the Kabuki Warriors. I wish they'd change the damn name, but that's another story for another time. I loved seeing Trick come back. The music and the entrance for Tony was great. It's a step in the right direction. The whole night was very enjoyable. I have to admit, I've been watching it in pieces and falling asleep, so I might have missed some stuff. Because it's been that kind of week for your boy. Tuesday night, a few people.
Well, it's a birthday week, folks. It's a birthday week.
A few of my friends invited me out for my birthday, and I stayed out a little too late, and I suffered the rest of the week for it.
Strippers, donuts, and glitter, baby. That was a good night.
It was a damn good night. You don't know if you got sprinkles or sparkles. You had a good night.
Oh, you got the sparkles over. That's what you got.
I hope that's glaze on my face. Shit.
We're going to hell.
I knew that already.
Okay. But I'm sorry, man. I interrupted. My bad.
No, you're fine. You're fine, man. It's cool. But I really enjoyed Roadblock. It was not as good as Revolution. I don't think anybody expected it to be. But there are some damn talented wrestlers in NXT, and I can't wait to see some of them come up to the main roster, especially Carmelo, like we talked about. I think that man has been ready. I think he was ready before Braun. I'm gonna be totally honest with y'all, but that's just my opinion, and it happens to be my birthday coming up, so fuck you.
That's right, man. That's right. You're bullshit. You're bullshit. Whoever fucking disagree with Dom's birthdays right now.
No bullshit. Okay.
No bullshit.
And I'm done.
I could say, Revolution, we already kind of recap. I can't really say much of it. You guys pretty much nailed it down. I enjoyed it. And I did see the cutoff. They did put it on YouTube. We did see it. Of course, saying, hi to everybody, thanking everyone. He patted everybody, saying goodbye. And it was a great exit for him. Of course, if you guys missed it, this past Sunday. Go back and watch the replay. Go towards the last match, like within almost that hour, you'll see Dom crying because he did cry during the live watch.
Oh, like a baby. I'm
not
not even.
Not there's anything wrong.
There's nothing
we
wrong
all
with that.
did. We was all getting emotional.
Well, yeah, I almost got teared out because he was making me almost cry because I held myself. But I almost did.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I was glad I went before Dom because trust me, I was gonna be a mess if I tried to make my comment after him.
Right.
I was emotional. Okay, I could not help myself.
I know, but it was a great exit. This is the media scrum. Sting pretty much broke it down. This is the way why he decided to be in AEW. The reason why he chose it, and Tony. I guess Tony Khan even offered, "Can you stay until Wembley? Can you stay to Wembley so we can do All In?" And he decided no, not to. But they'll talk if there's anything that he could do to help for the business. Hopefully so. So right now, enjoy the exit. Steve Borden, Sting, enjoy, and very happy for you. You had an incredible time, great exit that you wanted. Will Ospreay, of course, in the media scrum was really happy and showed his back, which was horrible. Oh my God. Yes, the match is like a top 5 match of the year for this year already. And we're not even in the middle of the year. We're already fucking third month of the year. So they're already the top 5. Could be the number 1 right as of right now.
Right.
But shit, I mean, I'm like how Dom says, I'll put my pen on that when we get to Dynamite. But one thing I would say, I'm happy that he's found a home and he was willing to work full time. And he really mentioned himself as well that, my thing is really more promos that I need to get used to because and not to cuss, not to say fuck, or shit, because that's Will Ospreay. In New Japan, you can do that all the fucking time. That's right. Of course, they don't care. That's TVMA for sure. But in America, in the audiences with a big national television network, it's different. You have to watch the F word. You can say the B word sometimes.
Bite through my tongue. I really because I'm like somebody should have told Swerve that, but we'll wait.
I mean, he'll just start using English. He'll just start using UK vernacular and swear words. It don't count if it's not American.
If you can't recognize it, it's not a cuss.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I could tell you that's top matches of the year. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen. We'll talk about that because there's a lot of things that change the world that happened, which we already expected, but I'm saving myself for that. In regards to the Roadblock, shout out to Dijakovic. That fucking moonsault off the top. Fuck. Man, that guy fucking nailed it. And Joe Gacy for taking him like a man. I'll tell you that. Jeez. Those two men are not giving credit what credit's due, and they deserve that. And the way how they're putting that story within each other, fucking phenomenal. No pun intended. AJ Styles. D'Angelo, I know people are questioning or really upset at the fact that D'Angelo's getting the number one contendership of Standing Deliver versus, of course, Eli Dragunov. We don't know yet, as ladies and gentlemen, because it's really the beginning of where we're heading into Stand Deliver. We got about at least 2-3 weeks more within time. They got 3 Tuesdays to figure that out. I know everybody wants. I heard it all over social media. I heard it even on with Uncle Seltzer and piece of shit Alvarez. This should have been. Of course, Carmelo versus Trick Williams for the belt. We don't know that. We don't know what direction they're heading with. Mm-hmm. It's better for us. I like if we notice that within this year, we'll probably go, I would say the middle of it. And I'm talking about just not only NXT, but also WWE. They have not been predictable. They have been very unexpected. They were like, what the fuck? Okay. What the fuck is going on here? So what are they doing? I am loving what I'm seeing by far on both products. Yes, I know it's sometimes it has its roles. It could be good, it could be bad, it could be like, but storytelling wise, it gets us anticipated to be, wait a minute, is this really happening? Wait, this is just happening? It's predictable. So us marks here, and I'm saying everybody in general, folks, and you're listening as well, we could say, we could throw the assumptions we can, but by far, we didn't expect this. We didn't expect Roxanne to turn heel, almost breaking the arm, so it just, and so a lot of things that we don't know what direction they're heading to Stand and Deliver. So be patient, folks. They got 3 more Tuesdays to figure it out. And by
Speaking
then,
of-
we'll figure it out.
Speaking of what the fuck, a part of Revolution that I love that nobody's really talking about, the goddamn cosplay. When you had Mariah come out as Tony Storm, like old Tony, she looked so spot on. You thought it was Tony, and then you had Sting's kids coming out as like Sting from the Bash and Wolfpack Sting and all that shit. Oh,
I will say this: Sting's sticking around the AEW for a while. Anybody in the back, if they don't use Sting as a trainer or at the very least go to him for advice
as a mentor,
exactly. Like I know Darby already is. Like Darby, like day one.
Oh yeah,
day one.
Darby's.
But honestly, there's a bunch of other dudes.
Brooks already did too.
Yeah, there's a bunch of dudes back there who could probably use something from. Because I understand. We got Mark Henry and Big Show, and let's face it, their skill set and their move set's a little different than most of the roster themselves. So other than mental game. Now you probably can't really go to them, but if you want to talk about someone who pretty much went the definite hybrid wrestler back in the day till now, that would be Sting, and hopefully some of them go back there and realize it. They have Daniel Bryan, but honestly, like Sting has that. How do you build a persona? Because a lot of them, as much as I love them, a lot of them don't have a personality you can piss in the bucket and with.
We could digress about that for like an hour. Why? And we already know because
I just had to throw that in there because I have not heard anybody mention it since Revolution. Like those guys dressing up as Tony and Sting was spot the fuck on. Like I thought that was Tony Storm when she first hit the ramp, and I was like, oh, that's Mariah. Mariah has never looked that good, and she's a good looking woman.
I can kind of tell. Sorry, ladies.
You could tell. You were sitting there with me on the watch along, like, oh shit, Tony went to roots. And all of a sudden, here goes Tony.
I was eating. That's why I was eating.
Oh,
well, look,
hot sauce was making my eyes tear. I wasn't crying.
I wasn't crying on the hot sauce, but look. First of all, look, I don't wear TVMA, but I'm trying to be here equally when it comes to our genders. I mean, I am a man, of course, but nalgas, folks, you can tell we're
I'm a man, but I'm also a fucking man. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? I saw. You could tell that I was not Tony Storm because of the shape. If you know what I mean, that's what I can say. I have no. Yeah, thank yes.
Respectfully, honestly, I enjoy the fact that this is part of the gimmick.
Oh, me too. I know.
Like they literally Mariah May
she kept doing it. But
like I said, I'm happy that they're not just letting Tony Storm be the gimmick. They've expanded it to not just Luther, but to Mariah May. And I remember when we first saw Mariah May, our first thought was, please don't let this be like Trish and Mickey James when they were first getting together, and Mickey was all up in Trish's ass.
A young psycho enjoyed that because she literally got all up in Trish in a match.
Yes, but I think this one, while it still have the same shades, it is definitely way more they definitely raised it up a level because at this point, the funniest part is literally Tony Storm's dismissive attitude of Mariah May, and Mariah May just desperate for any kind of acceptance or approval from her. So the way that, like I said, the way they've evolved that move to that way, because even Luther, if you notice, Luther has an expanded role within that gimmick as well, and he don't even talk.
Nope. But he does so much more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They are doing a really good job of that. Even if you want to go beyond that.
Sorry, I'm laughing at that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, if you want to go beyond that,
unbleeped, mind you.
I mean, if you want to go beyond that, you gotta look at Swerve. It's one of those things where he's trying to stay heel / tweener, but no matter what he does, nobody accepts it. The man literally talks
Honestly, Swerve, and this was for later, but damn you, Pepsi Phil, because you don't know segments. Swerve has picked up the MJF. Swerve has picked up the MJF handbook, and he is just reading it page by page.
All right.
Hey, this is how to be a dickhead, but be over. Okay.
But what we were talking about storytelling. So there you go.
Yeah, but we needed to save that for later.
But I'll tell you one thing. I did like Roxanne turning heel. It's about damn fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that coming from the Rumble, if you remember.
Yes,
We all did,
I remember that. And if you go back and watch it on the archives, folks, that's right here. But I can tell you one thing though. I like the fact that she kind of, and I might get shit on this. I might get shit on this. I'm not trying to compare it fully to that, but I can say that she kind of reminds me of AJ Lee when she turned heel, in a way, just a little bit.
That's a lot about Roxanne that reminds me of AJ. Though.
Oh, I know.
A lot.
There's a lot, but
there's nothing wrong with that. AJ was tremendous, but there's just a lot.
Oh yeah, but I'm excited to see what she's gonna do, and man, I'll be watching NXT as much as I can do it because we don't win our life, folks. There's like a lot of promotions that we're watching, but we're doing all for you guys. That's what we're doing. All right, let's move on into we got to talk about this Hall of Fame.
Oh, we do.
That's right, we have to. As it's been announced, ladies and gentlemen, of course, the main inductee was the first one was Paul Heyman, ladies and gentlemen, and I was happy that he was announced in the Hall of Fame. Next to him, of course, was announced was Bo Nakano, which Tom and I talked about with, oh man, who did we talk about? It's Maya with the
our bestie.
Yes, we're gonna have it back on the show soon, folks, because PCW is coming to you on April 12th. We'll be having her back. And announced today as well is Barry Windham and Mike Rotunda, the U.S. Express. People that are not familiar with U.S. Express, this is when it first started, way back in 1983, 84, when they came into the world of professional wrestling. Keep in mind that at the time, Rotunda is married to Wyndham's sister. So that's why they worked, of course, as brothers and everybody else.
Yeah.
This is just, yes. Congratulations, Paul. That's right. Absolutely. And from there, you saw the video earlier today on social media. They both cried. They were both happy that they were both getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. Congratulations to these three. And I'm really, really happy for them. But the biggest one for us here is really, 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 really that I heard everybody's opinions, but I haven't played this, and I want to play this, and I'm looking for it because I forgot to upload it here. Where the fuck is it? I had it here.
Hang on one second, folks. Slight technical difficulty.
No worries. But man, all I can tell you, folks, I gotta upload this, and I dearly, dearly have to. It's a must. But the biggest question here.
The suspense is killing me.
I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know if anyone said it, but it's long past fucking time Bo Nakano was included in the WWE.
Oh man,
Not yet, but I was about to.
Yep. But the biggest one here, folks, is who should induct this man. I'll play this video. That's right. Ooh, I know you're going ape shit.
Totally worth the wait.
Yep. I know. All I can tell you is this man deserves to have this Hall of Fame. Finally, he denied it for so many years to be in the Hall of Fame, and it was the right time to do it here, of course. Because where's ECW from? Where was it originally founded?
Mm-hmm.
I know because I was there.
Mm-hmm. And I'm assuming
Street, baby, South Philly.
Everybody heard everybody's podcast, everybody's show. Everybody heard everybody. I even heard Bully Ray on Busted Open Radio. They even asked him, would you induct him? He's just like, he even said, it's hard, it's difficult. I wish even freaking Tommy Dreamer could do it. I'm going to say right now, I'm just getting it off my chest. I feel that it should be all the roster of ECW to induct this man into this Hall of Fame. All of them. Even when De Niro even mentioned on Raw Dog of De Niro, he mentioned it, I believe it did. I think Pepsi could correct him on that. I think he mentioned it off the air. I'm not quite sure. Even Todd Gordon could be the one because it was the guy who had Eastern Championship Wrestling, who passed it on to, of course, Paul Heyman, made it to Extreme Championship Wrestling.
Pass it on might be too strong a word.
Yes.
You're like Paul took that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
And justifiably so, y'all. Eastern Championship Wrestling sucked.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that right now because I went to it a couple times.
I no argument there, but pass it on might be a little too.
All right, take over.
A little too revisionist.
Paul was like, "Yeah,
all right, I'll take it back." Then more taking away and
he gave it up
and say, "All right," but I know there's beef between them two, so we already kind of know. I don't know if it's still that way, but man, I am happy that this man in Mania 40 he finally is getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. Congratulations once again to Paul Heyman. Well deserved. A lot of things that I was about to tear my eye because I was just like, man, this guy deserves to have this. And the fact is that if it wasn't for him, we will not be where Dom probably will give you more. I'm going to hold myself more because I rather than Dom. It's his birthday. I wish the director was here with us because it's another one.
Oh,
that
De Niro was here with us.
And De Niro, yeah. See, that's the triple threat right there. Would have been
the triple threat of the debate network so we can get extreme together.
Yes, and pretty soon you will see ECW moments here from them three because De Niro announced it already, and that will be coming soon, which I don't know when. That's between them three. I can't answer that question. So
I'm just learning this. So that's
I know that's kind of your birthday present that I know. So by far, I don't know what else more. But should we say? You know what? I'm gonna save best for last time. I want to hear Pepsi Phil's. You know what? You know what? Hold on. You know what? Fuck it. This is Dom's fucking moment. It's your birthday present.
You know it is. It's my birthday. It's
I know.
Philly. It's ECW. This is me.
The floor is yours. Answer this question: who should induct Paul Heyman into the Hall of Fame?
Man, first of all, I don't know if Paul actually said like, no, it's not my time yet and waited for this, or if they just decided, oh, we'll be Philadelphia. Yeah, we'll put Paul in. What the fuck? Either way, it's long overdue and well deserved. I mean, Paul, I don't care where you started with Paul Heyman's career. If you're like me and you remember him running around with like Missy Hyatt and a brick cell phone in WCW and
AWA.
You know, I even think he had a little stint in World Class. I could be wrong about that.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. He was a photographer.
He was Undertaker's manager.
Yes.
Yeah, before he was Undertaker, but yeah. And it's just Paul. It has always been. The man was on track to become a Bobby Heenan level manager, and that was not good enough for Paul. Paul didn't want to be remembered as just a valet. He wanted to change the business. And so what did he do? He basically looked at Todd Gordon and said, you need to give this promotion up nice and smooth or there's going to be trouble. And from there, the rest is history. And wrestling was never the same after he took over and made Swanson and Rittner the place to be for professional wrestling. Turn something so small, some blip on the radar, into something that became global. And had it got the backing that it desperately needed, Lord knows where we'd be today. So Paul, congratulations first and foremost. You are beyond deserving of all of this. As far as inducting him, I'm not insanely far off from De Niro. I will say this: it won't be Brock. Clearly.
Oh, we already know that. It's not gonna happen.
That ain't gonna happen. But if it could be Tommy Dreamer, if it could be Rob Van Dam, if it could be the franchise Shane Douglas, any of these guys that Paul Heyman plucked from what was basically obscurity and brought to the forefront of not only ECW but pro wrestling in its heyday.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you didn't know the franchise because he was with WWE, because if you were watching Dean Douglas, you'd give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
But once he got to be the franchise, even people that didn't watch ECW knew who the fuck he was and wanted to see him. Rob Van Dam went from, squash matches on WCW Saturday night to the whole fucking show. Tommy Dreamer was wearing bedazzled fucking suspenders when Paul found him. Bedazzled suspenders. And Paul took him under his wing, molded him, brought his personality out, taught him the business, which is probably what's got him in the position he's in TNA. And made him into an extreme icon. If he were still alive, it's a shame. If he were still alive, I'd say Terry Funk. That would be the first guy. If Terry Funk or Dusty Rhodes, if they could. But I could see a group of ECW wrestlers. I could see Tommy doing it. I could see Rob Van Dam doing it, especially. I could if the franchise wanted to pop back out, because I have not seen that man in a minute. I kind of miss him, but I haven't seen him in a minute.
He's got a great podcast, so.
I guess if you wanted a groaner moment, you could always have CM Punk do it because they're close.
Oh, even Bully Ray said that on Busted Open.
Yeah.
Did he? I didn't hear that.
He did say that. He said that Phil should be the one to induct him in the Hall of Fame, he said.
He's technically a Paul Heyman guy, and I guess Paul made him one of the lone bright spots for the ECW reboot. But it's just,
it doesn't feel real. Oh, damn, Dom.
He froze.
Okay.
I'm waiting for him to.
There you go.
I hate my internet. I would rather see them put the spotlight on the original South Philly rendition of ECW than to trot Punk out there and remind everyone of the reboot. That's the only issue I have with it. I know they work closely in was it FMW? One of the developmentals.
Yeah, I believe so.
And Paul was, very adamant to get him up on a main roster and to put him in the spotlight when he had the ECW reboot, and got him to basically where he was before his ego destroyed everything. Maybe the first time? Maybe. I don't know. ROH fans might debate, and I'm not gonna argue that either.
Okay.
But I feel like it has to be, if not an ECW guy, like a group of ECW alums, just to tell stories about Paul and what they meant to him. I mean, even this would not have, even if you wanted to bring back Jericho and Taz, I'm not mad at that. I don't think you will. I mean, you did bring Jericho back once, so it's not off the table. I don't think you will, but it would be cool. Like guys that Paul basically created in the United States. Nobody knew who Taz was till Paul got a hold of him. Nobody knew in this country who Jericho was until Paul got a hold of him and put him in a ring with Taz.
Okay.
But yeah, maybe a group of alums just to tell the story of what Paul did for them and meant to him and everything else before inducting him. That in Philly, that would feel right.
Okay.
All right. Pepsi Phil.
I have to say this. Here's the thing. I was never a hardcore ECW fan. The only thing is that if you watch a show, you'd enjoyed it. Not because of the violence, which I know some people enjoyed it because of the violence, but it was because of the fact that these were, the Paul referred to them as underdogs, but these were for the most part obscure people who had no voice whatsoever.
That's more accurate,
And,
yeah.
Yeah, would have
land of misfit toys, the way Tommy Dreamer put it.
Exactly, and these were folks that would have bottomed out as jobbers somewhere else because no one had the imagination for them. And Paul gave them a platform and like helped them come out of their shell. So for me, that's the reason why I enjoy it, because he brought that over to as far as I'm concerned, he brought that to WWE and SmackDown, which is why we got champions like Edge and why we got champions like Eddie Guerrero. Because under the normal regime of the old guy, unless they were like 6 feet tall and could bench like 600 pounds,
unless they were Brock,
they weren't getting a belt. But under Paul, guys who were really hard workers who really killed it got chances, or should say, not truthfully, opportunities to actually really make a difference. Like that is where we got to see, we got to see Eddie. We got to see just random guys who honestly were like mid-carders technically, but at SmackDown they were main eventers, but that's because of him. Like he was so good, Raw was actually pissed at him for making a better show on SmackDown than Raw itself.
Yep.
Like the number of arguments, so that is something to be said for him. If I had to pick someone to put him in, honestly, the first time I heard it, the first team, I'd like him to be inducted by the Dudley Boys. Like Devon and like both of them, because they used to have some of the best promos together.
Yeah.
Now, granted, Bubba had that one thing he would do that we don't let him do anymore. But before that, him and the creation of the Dudley Boys is still, in my opinion, the funniest thing I have ever seen. Because to this day, Big Daddy Dudley, which is not the name they gave him,
Big Dick.
Yes.
And his finishing move was total penetration. I will never forget.
Exactly.
Never. This is TVMA. I can say it.
If you watch ECW, the one thing you can say was they did not give a fuck.
I swear, when I first played that for Kathy, I was like, they announced Big Dick Dudley. She looked at me and said, "Wait, that's his real name?" I said, "Oh, yes." Wait till you hear his finisher. She's like, "Why? What's his finisher called?" "I'm not going to tell you." And then she heard it. She went, "Oh my fucking God." I was like, right? This is how it feels to be Joey Styles. Thank you.
Like, literally the best part would be when he tried to explain all his kids, which is how he justified Bubba and Devon being brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, in ECW, was like, yeah, okay, that makes perfect sense.
In ECW, yes.
So, but anyway, yeah, I'd like it to be the Dudley. If I had to pick, I'd say the Dudley Boys. If I had to pick my dream pick, no pun intended, it needs to be Tommy Dreamer. Tommy Dreamer, I think, really has the best insight into Paul and into the experience of Paul at ECW, because I don't think there was anyone closer to Paul during the ECW years than Tommy Dreamer. There may have been a few other people, but I don't think anybody was close.
Let's put it this way. There might have been somebody as close, but there was nobody as loyal to that company and to Paul Heyman as Tommy Dreamer. And that's why I think he's number one on everybody's list. I know Brian's saying, like, don't forget Eddie, Ray. And Ray would be cool. Psychosis, Dean. Yes, all those guys would be great. But everyone that you just mentioned moved on and moved out. And Tommy literally stayed to the bitter end.
Mm-hmm.
And he was there from practically the beginning.
And there were times where he took no pay, or as he says, a check was bounced on him and he didn't go anywhere.
He'll tell you freely, Paul Heyman probably still owes me money right now. I don't care.
Because again, he was the only one who gave Tommy a shot. And for guys like Tommy and everyone at ECW, that's all they really ever wanted. And the two companies at the time, the thing about ECW also was that we didn't have as large a field in wrestling as we do now. In the late 90s and 2000, there were two companies
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there were smaller independent companies here and
Well,
there.
the thing about it was you didn't have access to these smaller companies like you do
Yes,
now.
exactly.
Somebody working with AEW can't just like scour YouTube promotions and say, "Oh, that guy, we could get that guy."
Exactly.
You had to go out and really look and really dig to find
Mhm.
these talents. And Paul knew exactly where to look because he had been everywhere.
Or if you think about it, if you were a talent, it was hard trying to find anything. Like finding a place to go. Like if you were in WWE or WCW, you spent most of your career fighting in bingo halls and looking for one-stop pop-up shops to wrestle in. And for a lot of guys, that was their bread and butter for almost there was a quote unquote the journeyman. That used to be the journeyman lifestyle, which was a negative. But thanks to Paul in ECW, you have what GCW, all like a but man, not
ECW.
not just like kind of CZ, but like not just that, but he gave people an idea that you could have a company that's not WCW and WWE and make money. It wasn't so much that Paul came up with like a new version, more violent form of wrestling. It was the fact that he created something that pretty much said, "Look."
You know what it was? It was more than that. It wasn't just that Paul was like willing to be super violent and get his talent killed.
Yeah.
Yes, that was part of it. But at the same time, Paul and almost every ECW alum will admit this freely. Paul was a fucking genius. People always give WCW and Eric Bischoff credit for the cruiserweights. Look at this list that Brian just put up here. Every one of them, except for the Dudleys, was in that WCW cruiserweight division. Where'd they come from? Because Paul looked and went, you know what? AAA and these guys in Mexico are amazing. I'm bringing Rey Mysterio and Psychosis, and I'm putting them in a bingo hall. I'm bringing in Conan. I'm bringing in Dean Malenko. I'm bringing in Eddie Guerrero. These guys are amazingly talented. They're doing things that nobody else is doing, and I'm going to put them on my program so that people will come watch them do things that nobody else does. Here.
And keep in mind, the funny thing about that is when they did that, they were successful. I'm talking about WCW. The moment they got rid of their I don't know about to call it the X division shit.
Cruiserweight.
The cruiserweight division. The moment they did
X division,
that's pretty much when they started to go under. Because they got rid of their main card for their mid carders. The main spotlight for their mid card were the cruiserweights. Now, no offense to Jericho and the rest of them, but if you were raised size, the cruiserweight division was definitely why. Let's tell the truth. All of us went to watch the cruiserweight division because, like you said, they were amazing.
There we go. Okay.
You okay?
Yeah,
I'm fine. Just my internet took a shit.
And like you said, the only reason these people showed up on WCW's radar was because Paul found them and said, "Look what these guys can do."
And that was the point. Like you can talk about anybody else, but when you look at the way Paul worked things, if it was so easy to get to that spot with Raven, then WCW would have done it. If it was so easy to get these, to get these talents from everywhere else and get eyes on your product, then everyone would have done it. And that lightweight division in WWE was fucking horrible.
And keep in mind also, a lot of these characters and gimmicks that they stole from ECW, they tried to run them in WCW and just couldn't do it.
No.
Like
Raven didn't hit like that. Bam Bam didn't hit like that. The franchise didn't hit. And a lot of them ended up going back to ECW because it just didn't have what WCW had, which was that man.
So, but yeah, so honestly, I think it'd be fun to see the Dudleys do it. But honestly, for me, they have enough. In my opinion, they have enough of a partnership. And I know Tommy Dreamer mentioned a bunch of other names. I feel like he's just being political, saying, I don't need that in my life.
He's being Tommy. He's being humble.
Yeah.
Even when you ask him about ECW, it started out with Terry, and then the franchise took it, and this and that. Never mind that Tommy was killing himself there, and people loved him for it, and he's probably one of the first people you remember when somebody says those three letters. He'll tell you it was everybody else, and then he was in there somewhere.
I mean, truth be told, if I truly had to pick who I wanted outside of Tommy, it'd be New Jack.
Yeah, we can't get that.
I know we can't get that. Rest in peace.
God
Luke.
rest
And
his
Lord
soul,
knows
man.
you don't want to give that man a live mic.
The hell you
Peacock.
don't. If we had to suffer through Mr. T's loving his mama bit on his, I can live through.
Oh
recaps.
God, somewhere right now, Mr. T is still talking about his mama.
Exactly. No
Lennox, my man Lennox.
Lennox, my dude, what is
No, but
happening,
yeah, like
bro?
honestly, yeah, I need, and the
Yeah.
person who does it has to be a character. And if it's not gonna be Tommy, it has to be like someone over the top. I mean,
I think it will be
if-
Tommy. I think it will be because
I
now
think
it can-
RVD is over the top enough to do that, but
they even mentioned RV like
especially when Paul brought back One Night Stand and RVD got to cut that promo and finally talk on WWE television with the boot and the cat and the
honestly,
crutch
I don't
in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, I don't see it being Rob because I think he still has a contract or an arrangement with AEW.
I don't think so. I think it's by
per appearance.
appearance. Yep. Per
Yeah.
appearance. Mhm.
But yeah, but I think that's still enough to get to disqualify Rob. I don't think it should, but I feel like they would.
Sorry, Don. Go ahead.
We're double clicking. Oh, and happy birthday to a Philadelphia-born ECW legend in his own right, Psycho. I appreciate you, Lennox. Thank you for that. Thank you. I'm gonna be humble like Tommy Dreamer and say I am nowhere near a South Philly legend, but thank you. It's nice to hear someone say it.
I appreciate you, Lennox, man. Shout out to Lennox, man. Always number one fan.
Always,
man. We
always
love
love that guy forever.
Yes.
WCW lost to cruiserweights. It'd be like Jason Voorhees crippling the spine of a pure fool before killing him, before just killing him.
I mean, tell the truth, WCW was god awful boring. Then the cruiserweight showed up, and you could literally hear the announcers go, "Holy shit, he just did that!"
The fuck? That's why they had to drag today in. They're like, you know about this shit? Come call this.
But I mean, that's the thing. I mean, all right, now I want some Bull Nakano action. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, well, of course, you know her debut.
I don't think you understand as a kid.
I do understand.
No, I do. I'm with you. I'm with you.
I'm with you because I was a big fan of her as well. You know, keep in mind she started All Japan. She's debuted in 1983. But she started everything else. You know, in All Japan, Consejo Mundial, AAA. She went to freaking WWE. Had her match with Alondra Blaze, which people don't give her credit what credit's due. You know, this is a former women's champion in the WWF at the time. See, that's why I put that belt for a reason because she defeated. Correct me if I'm wrong, Phil. She was the first one that kind of ended the streak of Alondra Blaze.
Yes,
at that time.
She was
the first one
because there was no women's division until she showed up.
That is correct. That is absolutely correct. And because also at that time, that's when they were started building. The relationship with All Japan at the time, because that was when, and even though Inoki was not from All Japan, but it was somewhat. It's a long story.
It was a peripheral.
It was like the middleman.
Yeah, it was the middleman.
But the thing about Bull,
what's going on, Tom? The future.
The thing about Bull Nakano is, every red flag I have dated is because of my attraction for her. Because literally,
you too, huh?
She is so awesome, and she was like so over the top. Like I liked Alondra Blaze for being what she was, but honestly, there was no one for her to fight until Bull Nakano shows up. And truth be told, I was genuinely surprised she showed up in WWE because honestly, she was not the type they would go for. She wasn't blonde. She wasn't a waif woman. She wasn't like basically like quote unquote their diva or whatever pretty girl they went for at the time. She came in and she was funny. She was hilarious. She was basically had all the personality in the world. It was the one thing that, and no offense to Alondra Blaze, her personality was so strong she outshined Alondra at times.
Oh fuck yeah!
Then you got to see her wrestle. And you got to see her, and at that time, you hadn't seen another woman pull those moves, at least on WWE's main stage. Like honestly, she did it. She did the ankle lock before Kurt Angle did.
Oh, we know that. That's a fucking given.
Like she made the ankle lock famous before Kurt Angle did.
She was the first, really, when you think back to it.
So, and then honestly, she literally looked like a superhero character at times. She was terrifying, but she was and she wasn't.
She did a lot of things that, for me, people don't understand that her route in the women's division in this generation, she has a lot to do with it. People don't give her that credit. She's very underrated. And I know, like Samaya, like how Dom and I had the conversation with her. I had a conversation with Viva Van. She kind of mixed it up with her style as well. They have the kind of mixture way with Bull Nakano's, style. And she's a big influence. And she's 58 years old. She looks healthy, and
she plays golf.
She plays well. Keep in mind, she was a professional golfer before she became a wrestler. So that was another thing that I was like, oh hell yeah,
bring that up. But yeah,
and so Bull Nakano even said she was like, I don't mind for having one more match. I'm like, what? Wait, don't get me Lenny over here. You want to have one more match?
I want to see it.
He said that.
Honestly, can you imagine her and Tony Storm going at it?
Oh fuck yeah! Instead of Wendy Richter, how about this one right here?
Exactly.
I'm not Wendy Richter. I beat that bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember the first time I saw her, and she scared the shit out of Gene Okerlund. Even though she scared the shit out of him. Like he pretends like he will say it was kayfabe, but he looked genuinely scared of that.
No, he had a load in his pants. There was nothing. There was nothing fake about that. That was the shit.
Upon request, Brian says you are control of Sunday Cinema on Top Pro Wrestling Talk Facebook. Can we put Bull Nakano versus Alundra Blaze and her winning the championship?
I love that. Make that part of
have my man
Cinema Sunday.
Yeah. For his birthday.
But she was
courtesy of and for the request for Lennox right there, because yes, we would need to have that for sure.
Also the fact that your name was Bull Nakano automatically goes, oh, this is somebody you got to worry about, because it wasn't like Tiffany. No offense to Tiffany Stratton.
Oh, no.
It wasn't Jenny. It was Lord Jesus, Bull.
Oh, I know.
Right? It was the same thing with like Awesome Kong.
Yes.
As soon as you heard Kong, you were like, oh, this bitch is not playing.
And honestly, you want to talk about another one who was like, that's one of those ones like, well, if I'm going to go, I'd rather be her.
I'm just happy that she has the opportunity now to do it, to be inducted, and she deserves it. She should have been inducted a long time ago, in my opinion. And now that she has it, I can't wait to see her face, like her reaction. I maybe should be Alundra Blaze to induct her, because I mean, correct if I'm wrong, Pepsi Phil and Dom. Correct if I'm wrong, but I feel that Bull Nakano kind of introduced that style, the strong style of women's style here to the American audience when she faced Alundra Blaze and kind of put her eyes on check, like, hey, this is what's wrestling, not that like close, like no. I want to even my fucking seeing at the maybe you could do it in a 2K24 WWE game, but if you guys do, I wouldn't mind even doing put Fabulous Moolah on her prime versus Bull Nakano on her prime, and that will be a dream match to see, because Bull Nakano for me will be like underestimated a little bit of Fabulous. But then again, I know Nakano will take her to school. Like, oh, that's what you learn here? Oh, let me teach you what they taught me in all Japan.
Yeah, let me show you what I learned over here.
Here's the one sad part Here's the sad part I have about Bull Nakano.
Oh, okay.
You want to talk about someone who was before their time, not in Japan, but in America, who was before their time. Because I think about, can you imagine her against, say, China, Vachon, or even
Ripley,
or anybody in TNA? Right?
Grace.
Yeah, can you imagine her in that run? Like the biggest problem she had in America was finding an actual women's division.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because
or a woman that was willing to work with her the way she worked.
That's very true.
That was the bigger issue.
Yeah.
Yes,
Good
I
point.
agree with
Yeah.
that.
And that's why I give a
Good point.
lot of credit to Alundra Blaze. I want to just say Medusa because that's her fucking name. We all know it's Medusa.
I'm wondering why you keep saying
Alundra.
Alundra. Goddamn.
Alundra.
You afraid of getting sued?
Medusa was the only woman willing to take them shots in the U.S. Let's be real, and she could return those shots because she had been all over Japan and all over the world before she got to WWE, and they gave her that name I can hardly even fucking pronounce.
Yep.
And what they did at that point in time was revolutionary to women's wrestling. I know that even at the time they had Glow.
Yep.
Every now and then WCW would have a women's match, but not like that.
I agree.
Not like that.
Absolutely.
We get what we get today because not only did they revolutionize the industry, but they inspired an entire generation of females to become wrestlers and reenact what they saw when they were little kids.
No, I totally agree. And that's
Zamaya being one of them. I mean, we interviewed her and we gushed. Ivan we all gushed about Bull Nakano and her greatness.
Oh man, yeah. I'm excited for her. She deserves it. I did see, the kind of comments of, it's like Kyrie saying and Io Sky. They kind of got in Oscar. They got emotional a little bit because it's the first Japanese woman to be in the Hall of Fame, and she definitely deserves it. I can't wait to see.
Certainly won't be the last, but it's good. This is deserving of a first. By the way,
I feel like Natty might be the one to induct her. Because remember, back in the day, Natty did a Bull Nakano cosplay for one of her matches.
Yes, she did. Yep,
she did. But I think it's gotta be Medusa.
I
know they're not going to call her that in WWE, but I feel like it's got to be because of.
I mean, if they can get her, it'd be great. But I feel like
she will say, "Yeah." What do you think he's going to say? No,
for WWE, she might have second thoughts because I know belt the trash, all that bullshit.
And by the way, folks, you see
for Bull Nakano, she would jump at the chance.
Yeah,
agreed. And before we move to the next subject, you see, this is why I put Pepsi Phil the blue and red can for a reason. He's drinking a Coca-Cola for God's sake. So that's what he's doing.
Why are you snitching?
Cheers to you with my Coca-Cola.
Morgan, if you're listening, do not tell Bruce.
Oh, I'll tell Bruce. If Morgan don't tell him, I will.
But
shout out to Morgan.
But like I said, she was not, and I use this word, and she was not your traditional woman wrestler you saw like back in the day, and that's not a dig. It's just you got to see a wrestler. Like you got to see a wrestler. Like if you were a fan of wrestling and you didn't just go for the TNA, no pun intended, but you actually like to see wrestling. You like seeing wrestling across the board. And when she showed up, you were like, "Oh, we about to get a real match now," because this is not a kitten or kitties or as the king would say, puppies. Yeah.
No. I mean, honestly, when I was younger, I loved Medusa because I thought like Medusa was different. Like she just hit different, literally hit different. I'm not even trying to use like these young people slang, being middle aged. And then I saw Bull Nakano, and I went, holy fucking shit, there's another level to this. like really? Wow. This is cool. We need more of this.
She's the only person I saw who literally did a 360 leg drop off the top rope.
Yep. Because that was the thing. Even back then, as a young psycho, it was like I always enjoyed women's wrestling for the obvious reasons because I'm a dude. But at the same time, the little cat fighty shit and the slapping and the cute little running around the ring and barely hitting the ropes and all that, you're like, oh, this is getting fucking annoying. And then Bull Nakano and Alundra Blaze get together and you're like, holy shit, man, this is amazing.
And just to give everyone credit, remember, it will be another 10 years before we get to see any kind of wrestling like that again. Almost 10 years. I'm not count. Don't count the Divas era. Do not count.
No,
that.
no. I'm not.
And that's no disrespect to AJ Lee and the rest of her kids.
No. I'm thinking because you're breaking my head, and I have to go back and really think about that because that's a good point. I'm not saying you're wrong about that. I'm just saying, fuck. I have to go back at that time and like within the last 15 years and see who has tried to repeat what she's done after when she left. What she retired? What 97? I believe it was. Yeah.
Now, granted, when I say 10 years, I meant like on a main stage, with
WWE at the time, or mainly right,
or some kind of like that, like IWC probably had tons of them, but like on a main stage like that, it would be her.
No, after her and Blaze, the closest thing I could think of would be like Kong and Kim.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you,
and that was what, like 2005 or something.
Devious cycle. See, this right here. Yeah. See? I thought about the same shit. That's because that was a match that kind of reminded me of that too.
There was nothing soft about that match, just like Blaze and Blue, man.
And we can say that Gail Kim, that was one of her toughest matches she had before she retired.
It was one of her best matches, and truth be told, the thing about that really hits hard is that after having probably some of the best rivalries, especially with Kong, she goes to the WWE and they literally give her the fluffiest bullshit storylines. And then it's so terrible, she goes, fuck this place, and leaves and goes back to TNA.
All right. Let's move on.
The one thing they don't say, because Gail Kim's another one who's like Bull Nakano influenced.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's get into some pro wrestling news, but man, it's not over, folks. This is like ECW week. I can tell you that. You know why? I'm gonna play it again
because it's my birthday. That's why.
That's right. I'm gonna play it again. I'm gonna have to play it again. That's right. Another
EC fucking W.
That's right. Another one that was announced, of course, that is happening on. There you have it. It's happening soon, March 29th, which he is making his return, and that is Raven into the ring. And I was like, what? Raven returning back into the ring? As he's teaming up with Akira, Jake Christ, and Jimmy Lloyd versus the Calling at MOW. Shout out to the Straight Talk Wrestling. Our familia right there, George Mackay and Uncle Bobby B. Go to their channel, go to Straight Talk Wrestling, follow their channel because they go ahead and go details of everything what's going on in MOW.
Yeah.
We do a lot here, but when it comes to MOW, they are
they are
the kings of that. Make sure you follow them and subscribe to them because shout out to George Mackay, love you, hermano. And he'll break down everything what's going on in MOW, and this is the one most likely that you guys should pay attention to because this is Raven Ring. That's another thing that I'm like, what? Wait, what? Wait a minute, what's going on here? Man, I was shocked to hear that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Raven's going to bring into that ring, especially. I don't know if it's a cage match. I think it is, but like I mentioned, you got to go to Straight Talk Wrestling to get more details on that. We do so much professional wrestling here, folks, but when it comes to MOW, those are our familia right here to follow because they know every single thing of it. You see, by the way, the Florida really should be better be in WCW.
Because they didn't have Paul, Brian. That was the thing. Ravens Click ran ECW, could not get on TV at WCW until they were taking each other's eyes. What the fuck?
I mean, we did get Kidman out of it, so there is that.
After he lost an eye and got it back, yes.
Yeah.
That's right. And another, even though it's not WCW, but one thing that brought my attention, we brought it up on Sunday, and it caught my eye, and I heard the podcast, and when I heard it, I went fucking nutty. And that is this one right here. That's the one that when I heard this podcast, I went fucking nutty.
And I'm right there with you.
Oh my god,
Right there with you.
So I know Dom knows Spanish, but he can't speak it, but he understands it. But people that heard El Vampiro El Canadiencio, that's what they call him, the Canadian Vampiro in AAA. Of course, he had a conversation, great interview, by the way, with El Cero Miedo. They talked about his past, everything. They even did a watch Lucha Underground, watch their matchup when the revelation was when he was his master at the end, my teacher. And hey, that's one of the biggest things that ever happened in Lucha Underground is that. I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
Yeah.
So that's something that is one of the biggest ones. And for Vampiro saying, I want my way out, I'm retiring this year. You know, I found my new wife. I'm retiring and I need to, my body's not feeling the same anymore. He told Pentagon, instead of me, I need you to. I did you a favor with your career. I need you to do me a favor for mine. One more time, Triple Mania. Let's do it. I don't give a damn what type of match. And of course, Cero Miedo was, well, if that's the case, just be advised. And I love you, though. I appreciate you for everything for what you've done for my career, but I'm not gonna go easy on you. You know I'm gonna fucking probably kill you. I was like, oh, whoa, yeah.
Damn near did the first time.
I was a die in the ring. Might as well. When I heard that and they agreed, I'm like, we got to talk to our agents to make sure this is happening. I'm like, let's fucking go. I gotta play it. Where the fuck is it at? Oh, yes.
Let's fucking go.
I give a damn.
For once, I agree, Tony.
Tony Khan, you better make that shit happen. And
Make it happen.
Conan, fucking make it happen.
Don't fuck around, K-Dog.
I know Vampiro is at the age that he already said, and shout out to Vampiro's podcast, Hear It Out, is all Spanish, but man, coming soon, there'll be a Spanish podcast here on the network.
Yes.
But I can tell you one thing is I enjoyed this conversation, the way it brought us back in time, but man, if this does happen, I am going to go ape shit. I literally I think Dom and I will do a watch along for this matchup because I really want to fucking see this.
So here's the funny part.
Oh my god! Please don't tell me you don't like this.
Even if it's just
no. Grandma Wendy posted the clip, right? I'm like, first of all, when you watch it the first time through, you know some serious shit's being said. And then I put out my translator because I actually wanted to know what was being said because I understood some of it. I knew it was about something. I knew it was the last of something. But I couldn't figure it out because again, I'm not a Spanish speaker. So I'm listening to it, and I'm sitting there going, "This is the realest shit I have ever seen." Like, and honestly, God bless Pentagon because I'm gonna tell you right now, if it was me, I would have said yes and started crying right there. Because basically, your hero goes, "I'm going out, and I need you to be the one."
Yeah, but see, Cero Miedo also means Cero fucks.
Yeah.
So,
Zero fucks.
But still, though,
none.
The man's not a monster. Like he knows exactly how important this moment is, how important that moment in the podcast was.
Knowing Vampiro like he does, Vampiro would not want him to go soft.
Yeah, exactly.
He would not want him to hold back.
He told them, don't hold back.
So when you watch it, you're literally going, "Oh, this about to be a thing." So truth be told, if this is a main event for AAA somewhere, I mean, when is Triple Mania this year? Is it
April?
Yeah. So it is plenty of time for Triple Mania to happen.
It's a 3-night event, so they have 3 nights to do it.
God damn.
So you can choose one of those fucking nights to do it.
So
they don't play in Mexico, man. They throw everybody out there.
There'll be a hell of a like that's it. Like I watched a couple of clips and going, that's an insane amount of fun.
Eventually, the ring crews in a death match. It's some crazy shit,
bro. I can tell you that they do a lot of shit. Even shout out to Sam Madonna's. Does a lot of great shit.
So, if we could do a watch along just for their match,
that's all I want to do, just for that match.
That's all I want.
That's all I would need in my life, right there. I mean, I would feel bad for Vampiro because it's like
my life.
But I'm sitting here going, I don't know if I could do a Vampiro retirement
I had
match.
to do it.
I mean, we can't. We got a Sting retirement match
played.
this year and a Vampiro retirement match this year. I don't know if I can handle that emotionally.
I don't know how many emotions I got in me, but they're all gonna come out.
Exactly.
I love Vampiro, man.
I love Vampiro so much too, man, because this guy has been in the business 40 years, has been giving a lot for his career. And I don't give a fuck what anybody says, whether you like it or not. I think for me, one of the best. There's so much to say what he's done in the ring, and I'm speaking about WCW. But I can tell you one thing: the dream match we finally got, even though it wasn't the best, but I can tell you one thing best out of this was the story, was him and Sting.
Yeah,
we finally got to see. As I was a teenager, I was like, "When are we going to get?"
The best thing about the end of WCW.
Yes,
the
story, right?
So here's the thing about Vampiro that I love. He at the time. You really you got Ray, you had Hoovertude and all these guys, but for him, Vampiro was the guy who went, look, there's Mexican wrestlers too.
Yep.
And he's fucking Mexican, but he's Canadian Mexican. But you know that already.
But at the time,
it's like me, he's adopted brown.
Yeah.
But the
thing about him was that he came from a system that honestly we did not get to see often.
No,
right? On occasion, we might see a Japanese wrestler come in, but that was always a gimmick guy. Like that was never really taken seriously. He was the guy that came in and goes, look, Mexico has wrestling. Even though you've heard about Mexican wrestlers, he was the one he came in and literally you're sitting there going, holy shit, Mexican wrestlers don't fuck around.
Yeah, no, Vampiro was definitely one of those guys prior to WCW that I was trading tapes for.
Yeah, exactly.
Whenever he got in a ring, he did wild shit. And shit that you did not see somebody that looked like him doing, and it was miraculous. And if I could just jump in and do like a wide sweeping cover of this, bad enough. We got like I would say, we got Sting's last match. Now we're gonna get Vampiro's last match. And if you haven't seen their match at Ultima Lucha, go watch it when we're done. You will thank me later. It is unbelievably beautifully violent. At one point, Vampiro pulls a Mick Foley and comes off the gurney and continues the fucking match.
Well, the thing about him was that he
of it. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. But then we got Raven showing back up, and I'm sorry. As soon as you mentioned it, as soon as you put the picture up, all I heard was the Offspring. All I heard was you gotta keep them separate. But I mean, I know Tommy can still go. I assume Raven can, but I can't remember the last time I saw him in a fucking match.
I know he was part of, not in a match, but I know he was part, correct me if I'm wrong, I think I have to go back and look at it, but he made an appearance, he did something, I know he did something, I don't know if it was NWA or LMOW before, so I know Raven did that. Vampire, on the other hand, he's like the GM for AAA along with Conan. He's done, he's gonna have a match at Triple Mania in a 6-man tag match where he's gonna be, of course, confronting Sam Adonis because Sam Adonis kind of hit him with the flag, and it was a long story with that shit. So they're gonna kind of go at it. So, Vampiro, his condition he mentioned in his podcast is not the best. He still could do it, but not as what he used to. So this man could, and he made an appearance at NWA as well. He wants to close his chapter very well with Cero Miedo. He wants to close it out very well with him.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was really hoping he'd be on that list of Hall of Famers.
I hope so too one day. Because
I don't know, man. It's gonna be one of those ones where they're gonna wait when he dies. They'll be like, "Oh, you know what we could do? we could put Vampiro in the Hall of Fame, and people eat that shit up like they do with a lot of these other wrestlers.
The thing is, like, he's in WCW. Since WWE owns it, they don't have the rule about you have to work for WWE to put in the Hall of Fame doesn't exist.
No, and keep in mind, I don't know. I'm with you too, Pepsi. But just to add on what you're saying, that keep in mind it's Papa H's He's making the calls and everybody else. So it's not no piece of shit, Vinny.
Yeah, I know.
Pretty more him.
It's just honestly, like, when you want to talk about someone who was like, and I mean, honestly, y'all would know more than me, but like someone who was actually pivotal to like bringing Mexican wrestling to the forefront of at least American minds as an actual legitimate alternative to just American wrestlers. The Vampiro was the guy.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And we can say throughout, and I apologize to interrupt you, but I'm saying throughout, later that time, but I can say the beginning of it was really more, Antonio Peña, God versus Soul, who was the original co-founder of AAA, kind of when he had the partners with Vince, because Vince was really getting into doing everything else. Hey, let's combine, let's do collaboration, sending people over there to AAA when it was barely starting. The same one day they brought a lot of wrestlers into the WWE. If we go back to the new generation era, like 1996, I would say 93, like between 93 and 96 is when we saw more of them there. You saw, I could name them who, we saw, we saw Mil Máscaras, of course. He's another who's one of the founders of that collaboration with Vince Sr. We saw later on, Rey Mysterio Sr. We saw so many that Pedro Aguayo, so many that came along even in the Rumble at the time. So it began there. And that's how, it kind of broke off later on because, of course, I know I'm going history. Sorry, folks. This is how how much I love wrestling, and I am Latino, so I know.
Please.
No, go ahead. Like I said,
then with the whole
you're the professor for a reason.
Then the breakup happened between the co-founders of AAA. That's when he created Consejo Mundial, Simamel, and then that was your WWF, WCW Spanish era. And it still is to this day, that's respectfully because they respect the boundaries, and we will never see the day that it will happen for them to combine. I would never see it. But go ahead.
So the big thing was like Vampiro was like, you had guys like, guys who were local, quote unquote, like Pedro Morales and Tito Santana, who also wrestled in Mexico. But honestly, when they were brought in, that was completely wiped away. Yeah, like their entire time they were in like Mexico and all the accolades they got over there. And I mean, I'm just picking those two because those are the two that stuck out in my mind as actually having, because they had a pretty good rivalry against each other. Literally, like they would completely disagree, and like Vampiro came along and was like, "Yo, y'all know where I'm from, and y'all know, like, not to pull out a Sky Hall, but you know why I'm here." So that's why for me, that's why I enjoyed them.
That's the thing. When you go back to the 90s, the biggest purveyors of modern Mexican wrestlers coming to the States were Vampiro and Paul Heyman. Those guys took those talents and brought them to the forefront.
Yes,
they would come. Vampiro would come here. He would start working at WCW. Then he'd say, "Yo, you got to look at this kid. You got to look at that kid. You got to get this guy on your program." And Paul Heyman would be watching AAA, saying, "I got to get these guys on my show," and worked out a deal to get all the Conan and Psychosis and all that, and bring them out and actually put them on American television, which nobody was doing.
Well, the thing about Paul was he did the one thing WWE and WCW never did. Paul respected them. Paul respected their culture, where they came from, and what their skills were. And he put them to work the way he should. The other guys,
he knew that if people saw this, they were going to get something from his promotion that you're not finding anywhere else around.
Yeah, and the other guys
that will bring people back.
WWE did not know what they had or couldn't do anything with it, or quote unquote they were so, and I'm using a phrase, but they were so milk toast that these guys were just a little too spicy for them. No pun intended.
They were very spicy, pun intended. There was just shit that they could not do in WWE, but that people
Mhm.
wanted to see. And Paul Heyman knew that. And
Mhm.
Vampiro knew that. That's why when he got in the door at WCW, there were a lot of guys that came in after the fact because he was sitting there saying, like, yo, yeah, this guy, if you think I'm good, this guy. Or if you put me in a ring with this guy from AAA,
Mhm.
crowd's going to fucking love it.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. The thing that the one thing that pissed me off was a Latino, the LWO. You want to talk about a franchise that pretty much wasted all the talent that was in that group.
I was going to say, I will see your LWO and I will raise you Mexicools because that one pissed me off. I'm okay with the LWO. There's a reason WWE brought back the LWO and not the Mexicools.
Yeah,
you didn't see like Santos leading his clique down on a riding mower, did you?
Oh.
That shit was fucking infuriating. LWO was alright.
The issue I had with the LWO was literally like they never did anything. Like they would literally do a promo with Eddie. Now I remember Eddie was the one who's like,
Sure.
I forget what happened. They did something weird with him. And it required him to line them all up and make them take their masks off to pretty much have to pretty much figure out who the culprit was. And I'm sitting there going, this is the dumbest thing I'd ever seen. And don't get me wrong, I loved Eddie Guerrero even then. But I'm sitting here going, why aren't they wrestling and why are they talking so much?
Yeah. And like how, Lennox feels the same. I feel the same too.
Like
Lennox.
Yep, there you go.
Like when I saw that and when I, when I saw the whole thing and it got teary-eyed to me because it hits me very hard because knowing Penta's, legacy and where he started and what he's done for the society, what he's done for the culture, for Lucha Libre, how he respects it. And I got emotional when I heard of it. And Vampiro too. I love Vampiro to death. That's another man that doesn't get credit where credit's deserved.
Absolutely.
That man has done a lot for this industry in the world of professional wrestling. He's
an icon as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely, he's a fucking icon. Mexico's heading to the
among other things, but yeah.
You can tell. Blame the other piece of shit who's no longer part of the company.
Venereal Kink McNugget, right?
But I'm excited. If this does happen, I can't wait for the announcement on social media. And if it does happen, we will be doing this watch along to fucking watch this match.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Because I want to see this match. And this is going to be, I'll be teary-eyed because this is the last match of Vampiros that I will definitely cry for.
The end of that, we're all going to be crying. You better not comment.
Exactly.
Because we ain't going to be able to read it.
So, but honestly, I was really happy when I heard this too, man.
Oh man!
Remember we said when was it the first pay-per-view we all did a watch along of this year? Like we all had to feel that this was going to be a big year in wrestling, and so far it has not disappointed.
It really is.
No, it has not.
Is it really no disrespect to the man, but is it bad that I'm more excited for Vampiro's last match than Sting's?
No, because those are two different things. Like you kind of grew up with Sting, so it's like, it is sad to see him go. Vampiro, literally, you want to talk about someone who actually paved the way and literally he was I call him a crossover wrestler because it wasn't just he wasn't like just a Mexican wrestler. He
crossed over several times. I mean, he started out in Canada, got accepted by the Mexican community, then went to the States, and then internationally.
He was honestly, he was damn near an ambassador for wrestling. Period.
Agree. Absolutely.
Not just American wrestling, but international wrestling. Period.
Agree with that.
But the difference being I knew the end was coming for Sting, and I was trying to prepare for it. I thought we had seen the end of Vampiro. I was not expecting another match from that man. I have followed him closely. I have listened to him talk about his issues and his Alzheimer's or dementia or whatever the fuck. And I thought, okay, he's out, he's done. And now this. So this one's out of left field. Whereas Sting, I mean, they announced that shit 6 months before it was going to happen. So I had time to prepare. This just came out while I think we were watching Revolution.
Yep.
And I lost my mind over that shit as if the pay-per-view wasn't good enough.
I thought it was bullshit. Then I think when it was Tim that brought it up, right? When we were doing the watch along, was Tim that brought it up, or who brought it up? I forgot who did.
It was Tim or maybe Kayla.
Mm-hmm. And then I had to go back and see the show. I'm like, and I saw the whole full show. I was like,
same.
Oh fuck, they are gonna do it. I fucking. I was like,
This one came completely out of left field to me because I thought Vampiro. I thought his last match was Ultima Lucha, and I would have been fine with that because it was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're getting another one.
Oh yeah, and look how
Lennox, you're absolutely right. Because let's face it, I love Kill Switch, not Christian's Kill Switch. I mean, it's not Kill Switch, Kill Shot. That was Swerve's old name in Lucha Underground.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. I had heard of like Swerve and Brian Cage, but a lot of those guys, like, I did not know Ray Phoenix or Pentagon at that point. I had heard about them. I had seen some highlights, but I did not know them as well, nearly as well as I did when Lucha Underground came along and put a spotlight on them.
That's
and especially Penta. I fell in love.
I think that's one thing that we could say that without Lucha Underground, we would not know these people that we know.
To this day, one of the best matches Lucha has ever done was Pentagon doing the gauntlet match with the Black Lotus Triad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I saw that when I went. First of all, it's Kairi Sane being the most vicious I have ever seen that woman.
Oh my god! You and Delorean talked about it on Monday where you guys talked about like, he mentioned he didn't like, he doesn't like what's that word?
Intergender matches.
Yeah, he didn't like it. But I think for me,
I
didn't give a shit. I enjoyed that shit.
If you watch the St. Valentine's Day Massacre match between Brian Cage and Taya Valkyrie on Lucha Underground, and you don't come out of that with a newfound respect for intergender wrestling, something is wrong with you.
Yeah,
there you go.
Because honestly, I was not I won't say I wasn't a fan of it, but I wasn't actually looking for it as much as I was thanks to. But with Lucha Underground, I was like, this don't look fair. And then start watching it going, damn, dude, she is whooping your ass.
Right? Like Taya was actually whooping on Brian Cage's ass at one point,
right?
and then he flipped the script seriously, like power bombed her through a table, and she got up and laughed about it. It was ridiculous. It was like next level shit. So, and I was okay with it beforehand, but watching that match, I was like, oh, we need more of this.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, we always talk about them being fine, but honestly, we don't I know everyone, because I know WWE has put a persona non grata status on intergender matches, which I think is a huge mistake.
Oh yeah.
But
absolutely.
Because let's face it, we've like I said, that Pentagon match, that one still haunts me.
Yeah,
we could say that was match of the year, even though they didn't.
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, they wouldn't. The problem was because of the way wrestling's built, the intergender matches don't get that kind of credit. But honestly, it really was, because even the storyline for that match was amazing.
Yes, it was.
So even the storyline for that match, which I think is probably what sold it the most.
Man, okay, we gotta move on with another topic, or else I'm gonna leave and start watching Lucha Underground. I can't take it. I can't take it. I'm getting all these flashbacks. Hero, you certainly deserve it, and you couldn't pick a better opponent.
Oh man, see that match between Penta and that was brutal. Yes,
yes.
Oh, I totally agree with that, Brian. Oh man, we gotta do a Lucha Underground segment one day just to talk about the good time and bad time. Best. We did a top 5 here on the network, but we could do another one here.
If we do a Lucha watch along, we need to bring Temple into it, because Temple has demanded.
Yes.
He didn't ask; he demanded.
No. We'll bring Temple in on that one. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on right now as we speak? We'll talk about it hopefully this week to kind of recap. That is TNA Sacrifice. As we do have Josh Alexander versus Alex Hammerstone 2. We have Moose defending the TNA World Heavyweight Championship versus Eric Young. We have a triple threat match for the TNA Knockouts Women's Championship happening as well. We do have the TNA Tag Team Championships on the line. We have Nick Nemeth versus Steve Macklin, which I'm going to look for that for sure tomorrow. I'm look at the replay for that. Oh, yeah. I want to see that. Triple threat, also for the Knockouts Tag Team Championship, PCO versus Khan. You have Mustafa Ali and the Grizzled Young veterans versus Time Machine, Motor Machine Guns, and of course Kushida. Looking forward to seeing and the Rascals, they're also as well in competition. So these versus Brian Meyer. No, it's not Brian Myers. I forgot who it was. But I have to go ahead and look and see. But it's just, I'm telling you, folks, I wish they could do it on Saturdays when they could be in between AEW, WWE, where they don't do events. And they
We
could
should
just
stop putting all this shit on Friday night.
I know. It's hard. Very difficult for us. Yes, because at the end of the match, everything would happen at just 10 minutes. Oh, yes, for sure, Brian. I'm looking at that. But there is a debate of the week we got to have. I know. And I'm saving, just one debate of the week because I want to get your guys' thought about it. Debate of the week, That's right. Because, oh man, this man can never get out of trouble. I don't know what the fuck it is, but I am tired of seeing this man getting out of trouble. We all heard everybody else's podcast, everybody else in the IWC community. So, Sammy Guevara, and just to clarify now the specific details that we know. So, Sammy Guevara got suspended because when the concussion happened to Jeff Hardy during their match, the referee pretty much said, let's finish it, let's end it. But unfortunately, it was not ended. He continued with it and did his finisher. And then the match was ended. Now, I feel there was, and I'm going to just get mine out of the way. Because of what happened, it caused a suspension for Sammy Guevara because of that nature. And now we know that Matt Hardy, his contract's coming up this month. I don't know, he's going to renew his contract. Jeff Hardy, his is going to have to stay because his injuries extends his contract. So we don't know what's the future for them. Sammy's future, on the other hand, here, because this is not the first time he got suspended, and this is something that he drastically cannot get away from doing what he's doing. I read everybody's comments, everybody else saying, "Oh, he's Latino." I get that. It's not about Latino, none of that. I feel there was a miscommunication between all two parties, between the referee, whoever was referee that day. Well, I forgot. I don't know. I don't think it was Bryce Renford. I forgot who it was, and there was a miscommunication. This is where AEW needs to learn. We may know in the independent circuit, right, the protocol for it. But there's times that when there could be miscommunication, maybe you're saying the words differently, maybe you say there has to be a way for it to be like, hey, I'm not going to expose how wrestling is because I've done it myself. The director, Chris Kennedy, he's not here, but he could tell. He's told me, and he told me, and Ray Rosas, shout out to him. Everybody that I know in the industry has told me what's the protocol for that. This is, I feel, for me, was a miscommunication that there was not really. It was a 50-50. I can't blame Sammy, and I can't blame him fully, or the referee. I blame them both.
Okay.
The fact that they miscommunicated. And unless that we do not know more further details of it by far, unless Jeff Hardy says, well, it's continue because he was concussed. So we do not know the third party. We only know by two. We don't know by the third one. So what's my thing for this question, besides the thoughts of suspension, is really now what's the future? Because this is not the first time that it's happening to this man. Now this is something that could hit exactly.
I would like to go before Dawn, please.
You will. You will. What is going to be his?
Everybody goes before me. What are you talking about?
What's this man's career? Is it in jeopardy because this is not the first time? Or this kid needs to grow the hell up and be really. You are in the top industry right now where you're at, and you need to figure this shit out already by now. You stop getting in trouble. But like I said, I can't blame him fully on it. I'm just giving my opinion towards it.
Okay.
I blame also the referee as well because I feel the miscommunication was not done properly. I think if they could really go back to school and be like, here, if I'm doing this, you know what I mean. That type of stuff, then that means end the match quickly. Don't let the ego get up your ass and just end it. Regardless of what the talent says, I still want to continue. Maybe he did or not. We don't know that. But what we know by far is because he decided to continue. But the way how I saw it, because I went back and watched it, and there was a miscommunication. You could tell. I don't give a fuck what anybody tells me right now. People are listening, go back and watch it. You can look at the referee, which I forgot who the hell it was.
Okay.
And just go back and look at it. There was a miscommunication. There was no communication word ended. But what is the future for this man? And could this be the last straw for him? If this ever happened again, is this bye-bye for him? He can't afford that. You bought a home. You're a father now. Don't fuck this up, kid. I mean, we're older than you. I can tell you that.
I'm a lot older.
A lot older.
So
you could be my kid. Let's be real.
He could be my kid too.
So here's the thing. You hit it on the head a few minutes earlier. It's a maturity thing.
Yep.
It truly is. And the problem I have with it is he has basically been doing this on the main stage, arguably off and on for about 5 years. Miscommunication aside, yeah, sure, that happens. But as a wrestler, I feel like, and this is like, again, from the outside looking in, you are still told, and you are basically you're trained to some extent to recognize when your partner is having problems. Like it's why Mox. Remember, Mox had his concussion, and they had to end that match early, and pretty much ended his run.
Think back to Forbidden Door when Adam Cole got hurt, and how quickly that match ended, and the referee wasn't even involved.
Exactly, and for me, this is the larger problem of the fact that when it comes to wrestling, Sammy Guevara just at times ceases to be a responsible adult when he wrestles other people. Like, even though, you're having a great match, it seems like the idea of like the person not being hurt seems to fall to the back of his mind. So checking in somehow, some way, because they have signals to check in with each other.
Oh yeah.
And it seems to be lost on him. And again, but to Ivan's point, we're not in there. We don't know what happened.
Right.
But to some extent, no matter miscommunication or not, the onus, and rightfully so, is on Sammy to watch out for the guy in the ring with him. Like, I mean, miscommunications happen, that's fine. Refs happened, that's fine. But the thing is that in the end, it's Sammy's job to keep an eye on Jeff. It's not the ref's job. And Sammy seems to have this habit of he goes for the money shot in all of his matches all the time. And sometimes I feel like that's at the detriment of the guys he's against. And again, I'm not in the ring, I'm just a mark. But it just feels that his reckless attitude is catching up with him. Like, it was cool when he was on the indie circuit, because at the very least, there is a looseness to it. But right now, he works for a company. He has to work with these guys around the clock on the run. They may not have house shows, but they do have weekly shows, and they have to be okay, and you have to keep an eye on them. I mean, say what you will about Seth. Literally, when Sting got hurt in their match, he knew, and he stopped. I mean, granted, the ref got in the way, and like that, they had to put a storyline thing to it. But in the middle of the match, Seth saw it and
that
stopped.
was after the fact, really.
Yeah, exactly. And for me, it's just, I don't know how many chances this guy can get. And honestly, if he's hoping to, I mean, when you bring in Okada and you bring in Ospreay, and then they go, you got this kid Sammy Guevara, do you want to keep him? In my head, why? I mean, truth be told, right now at this point, because they can't count on him, he's basically just a really, really positive jobber.
Yeah. So that's something you're not wrong to ask why, and there really isn't an answer to it because Sammy has, and I've said this time and time and time and time again in all these years that I've been doing it. Sammy is as talented in ring and on a mic as anyone in the business. Sammy's problem, even now as a father, is Sammy is young, dumb, and full of cum. And I know that Lennox, I think it was Lennox mentioned something about me being a South Philly legend, and I'm not. But in the short time that I spent in a ring, I was trained from day one to know that you are the first line of defense when you are in a ring with somebody.
Agreed.
You protect them.
Yep.
You watch out for them. The referee is there in case of emergency. You are the first. Okay? That's why, like I said, go back to that match at Forbidden Door when Adam Cole got hurt. The referee was not involved at all. Okada knew it. Or Jay White, or I can't remember, but they immediately went to a finish. So they get that off, they get Adam out the ring, and they could get him the attention that he needed because that's what wrestlers are supposed to do.
And English is not even his first language, and he knew.
Right.
Agreed.
This is what wrestlers are trained to do, and yet somehow Sammy Guevara doesn't seem to know that all these years in AEW. Not forget, like, okay, maybe in the Indies or something like that, but when you get to this level, you ought to know at least that basic fundamental, and you ain't got it. And that's part of Sammy's problem. Amazingly talented, but give him a minute and he will shoot himself in the foot again. And you're going to have to send him out and bring him back and get him cool with the locker room again and build him back up and hope this time he doesn't do it. But guess what happens every fucking time? Take foot, put bullet in it. Every fucking time. I mean, I'm about sick at this point. I'm about sick of Sammy Guevara, and I love that man.
Okay, Ivan, here's a question for you. Okay. If you're a booker and you have a major storyline, do you put Sammy Guevara in it? Are you trusting him with that major storyline?
It all depends who it is. That he's
no. I mean, think about it. It doesn't matter who it is. Let's say let's go a little bit lighter. I won't say. Let's say it's against Orange Cassidy and it's a run for the international championship. Do you put Sammy in that place?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Even I'll say no, and the reason is the point that I was about to make. Yeah, it's like a dad with a child. You know, I have a kid and he will fuck up. Every kid will fuck up. And I think every decent parent goes, you know what? We all make mistakes, son. That's how you learn. And I'm not mad that you make the mistake. I just want you to fucking learn from it. At this point, this is like the 5th, 6th time that Sammy Guevara has done this type of shit.
Yeah. That's where
and gotten suspended and gotten in deep shit. And it's the same mistake again and again and again. And nothing is more frustrating to a father watching a child make it the same motherfucking mistake over and over and over again. And in this case, weirdly, Tony Khan is like the dad. And Sammy Guevara is the child. And he fucks up. And Tony goes, okay, everybody makes mistakes, but you're going to learn from it. I'm going to send you home. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. You're going to do the other. When you come back, you'll learn and you'll do better. And then he makes the same mistake. And you say, okay, this time you're going to do this. You're going to do that. You're going to learn and you're going to do better. Eventually, you're tired of telling this motherfucker to learn because he ain't learned a motherfucking thing. Now you're frustrated. But the difference between being a dad and being Tony Khan is the next day, I still got to put up with that child. If I'm Tony Khan, I can just let Sammy walk.
Yeah,
because like you said, I got Ospreay now. I got Okada. I got this. I got Takeshita coming up. I got that. I got the other. What the fuck do I need you for? To fuck up again and not learn? Get out.
I mean, the biggest issue with me is that, like you said, he is really talented, but at a certain point, it becomes less about a safety. So the mistakes he makes is because keep in mind, remember, every time Sammy has had a problem with somebody, they both were punished. the other person learns their lesson.
Mhm.
Remember, he was beefing with Eddie. Eddie was like, okay, fine, maybe we don't need to do this. Let me just get
Okay,
back.
we'll squash this. Yeah.
Yeah, Tony had a conversation with him, and he goes, okay. He had a beef with Andrade. Andrade was like, yeah, okay, fine. He had a beef with Ricky Starks, and Tony had a conversation with about him. All three of those guys, even though Andrade is not here anymore, all three learned their lesson and stopped. Sammy, if you think about it, the only other person who didn't learn their lesson no longer works here and works for the other company now. The problem is that for some reason, and maybe he just needs to slow down. Maybe he just needs I don't want to say go back to training, but maybe he needs a better system for himself because right now he's not learning or figuring stuff out.
To me,
no, yeah, he's not. He needs to.
Like Dom said, he has a family now.
No, I know. I'm with Dom what saying. So
to me, it's plain and simple. He needs to learn.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the 5th fucking suspension in 5 years, and you ain't learned a motherfucking thing from any of it. It's about time to stop making excuses and playing on pity and saying, well, I'm in love now, or I'm married now, or I'm a father now. Great, good for you. What the fuck are you doing with it? The same shit. Learn.
I mean, it's good you feel bad about it, but it's something that didn't need to happen again.
Right? Because it goes back to that dad thing. Like, you hear the apology and you're like, you know what? If you were really sorry, this shit wouldn't be happening again.
And so, like I said, talent is not the issue.
No.
Skill is not the issue.
Hell no.
The kid is probably one of the most blessed athletes we have come across in wrestling.
Yeah. I mean, the guy's talented, man. I'm not disregarding nothing of what his in-ring abilities. It's just the maturity of it to be in the ring.
Yeah.
There it is.
That's where really, like, you're what,
There it
27, 28, almost 30? Like,
I mean,
you need
his age, for Christ's sake. Does De Niro act like this?
Yeah. I mean, we got Jack Perry, who pretty much had a problem, and look at he's literally on this world tour trying to fix his shit.
Yeah. Because he needs. What did we talk about 2 weeks ago about his ass? Probably like a little bit longer. What did I tell you about him? He needed to go to Japan and put himself on check. Yeah, it's maturity. And you think over there
he's trying to learn
that dojo? That dojo were not.
They don't fuck around.
They don't give a fuck.
But that's the thing, though. But Jack Perry knows that's what he needs to do, and he's say what you will about him, but he at least wants to be better.
So that's like, Sammy, Jack is trying to learn and grow, whereas Sammy is a spoiled fucking child.
That's where I feel it's the problem that I don't blame him fully as well. At the same time, I blame the talent that encourages it, because that encouragement, hey, you're doing great, you're doing everything, blah, blah, blah. Like you're building an ego more than what it already has, and when that happens is when there's a problem, because that's when you're like, oh yeah, I'm the shit.
I guess my question is, ego for what?
Because this is what I want to get to.
You're one of the greatest mid-card champions in the second best wrestling promotions history.
But,
ooh,
I was gonna get to it because it's like more the fact because hey, oh my god, I signed a second a big company. Now I'm out of the indies and everything else. Blah blah. You proved yourself in the indies, which you did. I'm not disregarding none of his credentials.
Oh no, he did. He did.
Yeah, his credentials, I'm not disregarding. My thing is that I feel that what he's done on national television for us, even us here right now, and everybody in the community, in the podcasting as well, discuss about this or discuss about him, gets that attention. So when you get that attention, which I know he's going to be watching this, and I know you will, which I don't give a shit if you do. Like I said, I have respect for you, everything else overall. But when it comes to the ring wise, protect your partner in crime, that's a problem. That's where something that you need to fix.
Amen.
That's something you have to mature to. Because
that's something that you're taught before you hit the indie scene.
Yeah, precisely.
You get to this point, it's one of the first things that is drilled into your fucking head. And if you don't know that now, that's a problem with you and your mindset. That has nothing to do with anybody else. No ref, no TK, no Jeff Hardy, no nothing.
And I will say this, though. Ivan, you were right. We weren't in that ring, so we don't know fully what actually happened. The problem, however, is the fact that it is far easier for us to believe after so many infractions that he was reckless than it is to believe that it was just a happenstance. Because based on what we know, based on his behavior, it's not one of those things where it's not. It's.
If you live with a klepto and your shit comes up missing, who's the first person you look at?
Exactly. And that's
because you know they're a fucking klepto. It's practically the same thing.
And again, like I said, I do feel for the kid because there's nothing more heartbreaking than pretty much being really, really talented and realizing that you're not getting where you want, not because you're being held back, but because you're holding yourself back. And if you can't figure out of that hole, it just gets worse.
It's like I always get Kathy to laugh at the beginning of Dynamite whenever somebody says it's Wednesday. You know what that means? I'm like, yeah, Sammy Guevara's suspended, and Kathy laughs. But at least once a year, I'm right, and that's a fucking problem.
I mean, he averages at least once a year at this point. And here's the weird part: I remember every single time everything he did to get it suspended. That's how big his fuck ups were. And I remember every single one.
The funny part is, I know we joked around about it when we heard, but it just seems like this happening at the same, just before a certain somebody debuted was coincidental. But now knowing the details and looking over it, seeing the match again, I don't think it has a damn thing to do with anybody debuting.
Nope.
I think it's just literally it was Tony and people behind the scenes talking to everybody, getting the facts, and going, okay, maybe I didn't want to admit that Sammy fucked up again, but Sammy fucked up again.
And truth be told, if you look at that match and look at it, it's scary.
Yeah.
No.
To your point, this is the first time that only Sammy was suspended. It wasn't Sammy and Eddie. It wasn't Sammy and El Idolo. It wasn't, this is when Sammy was suspended.
And let's face it, and with all due respect to Jeff, he ain't no young chicken.
No,
so he can't be taking that many concussions. So
he's taking enough as is.
Exactly. So
it's for me at this point, it's like I feel, and I know Tony Khan, I think he feels it too. I hope he does. That this should be like the last, like what's the old saying, when you play that game, the only one that's in the straw has to go,
straws.
Yeah, it's gonna come to that point. And it sucks because I don't want that for Sammy.
I think we have finally gotten to the last straw with Sammy Guevara. Like maybe he'll come back from this and maybe they'll give him the opportunities again, but I mean, MJF said it months ago after I think maybe Wrestle Dream. When Edge debuted, he said this roster is a literal like royalty of riches. It's everywhere you turn, there is top-notch talent, and if you are Sammy Guevara and you are in a part of that roster, and this keeps happening, you ought to know at one point or another. You've lost your last fucking second chance. And this is make or break. Like, if they let you back in the door, you better be a whole new dude.
So here's the thing that's fun, that's hilarious. Remember the storyline between the four pillars of AEW?
Yes.
Only two of those people are still wrestling in AEW right now.
Which is Sammy and MJF.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Now,
I was going to say, technically, there's one pillar wrestling in AEW, and that's true. Darby Allin.
Yeah, but
one's in Japan, one's at home, and the other one's suspended. So
we'll say
Darby's
the other one,
left by default.
I will say wrestling in good standing, still in good standing with the wrestling company, and still wrestling. So that's two people. That's MJF and Darby Allin, both of whom have been standing on business for this company since day one. Jack Perry obviously needed some seasoning, so he had to go on his Taylor Swift Eras tour to get right.
You had to compare to Taylor
Fair
Swift.
enough.
Fuck
Fair
this,
enough.
fair
However,
enough.
so
Jack Perry fucked up one time, and look at the response from him.
yeah,
You know
yes,
what that shows? It shows maturity. I gotta go learn. I gotta get my ass kicked. I gotta get my shit in gear.
exactly.
I'm gonna go here where they don't fuck around.
Exactly.
Whereas with Sammy, it's I fucked up. I'll make some excuses. I'll do my time. I'll come back, and I'll just keep doing what I do.
And that's the problem. Like, think about it. All four of those dudes started at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Basically the same time. And Sammy's the only one who literally is, if you take Jack Perry out of the situation, is the farthest behind development-wise for all of them.
And he's probably got more opportunities than any of them, and I'm
Yes,
including
he
MJF
did.
in that.
That's very true.
And truth be told, he's also had MJF had the championship. But Darby had the TNT title. But let's face it, how many times has Sammy had the TNT title?
But Sammy's had title opportunities. Sammy's been in the big clicks. Sammy's been in the main events. MJF ran around for a year or two holding his pinky up with a fucking ring on it.
Mm-hmm. And Darby
while Sammy, on the other hand, was getting title matches.
Mm-hmm. Running with Jericho and almost became tag team champions.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said the maturity needs to, like, mentally, and like I said, I'm not speaking about anything his performance, none of that. It's just really more mentally but that's what it is.
But Ivan, to your point, how do you do it at this point? How?
Well, look what fucking Jack Perry is doing.
And not only that, you want to know how? Okay, you got a wife, you got a baby, your wife ain't working, you got this big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Are you really in a position to lose that big deal? Then you better get in there. You better do whatever the fuck you're told. You better grow the fuck up fast, because now you got people counting on you.
Not only that, but
it's a gut check moment, and people respond to it differently.
Yes.
Hopefully, Sammy responds the right way.
And to add on what Dom's saying too, it's just really too that, and besides, like I said earlier, besides him, is also the locker room, which I feel like we may see it, or we probably are seeing him. Then, I mean, not physically, you know what I'm saying, but more you can see on television the kind of the tense in a way that they're probably like, you know what, let's not build his ego. Fuck him, let him do what he's doing. I don't want to be a part of it. You see, he just do his vlogs how he used to. None of that shit. So, besides being a father, like, I get that, but
I'm just saying, if Jack Nicholson was in that locker room, somebody would have called a code red.
It's just like well, that's why do we always digress about who should control the insane asylum? Why do we always say that for a reason? Because if there was someone that really be that shit, none of this shit would have happened to this man. Because then it would have been like, oh, this you want to do? Let's go to the ring. Let's get to a real fight. Let me fuck you up for sure. Then that's like.
Because sadly, you know who Sammy kind of reminds me of, being the bingo hall kid that I am. Kid Cash. Anybody remember Kid Cash?
Thank you.
ECW.
Yes.
In ECW, he was amazing because Paul would A, highlight his strengths, and B, keep his ass in check in the back. And a lot of that talent would do the same. Whereas when he went somewhere else, we had problems.
You nailed it. You nailed it. You nailed it because that's very true. Because Kid Cash was the same way. That's like, we could talk stories of that. He dominating and De Niro and Chris and
Kid Cash looked like he was going to take over the wrestling world in ECW, and then he got
fucked
someplace
up.
else, and his ego popped out, and there weren't the people around to control him like Paul and the gang in the locker room. So now, and he was at one point literally TNA, a big fish in a small pond, whereas before he was just the guy who needed to make the come up. And boy, did we see a lot of crazy shit from that man after the fact.
No, we
and
did.
A lot of that is what we're getting from Sammy right now.
We did. So, I mean, we have to wait to see what happens on that. We're gonna have to wait. All right, folks, move on to the next one because I just want to get this out of the way because you heard it in Raw De Niro if you saw this past Monday. Now the biggest question is, who, we heard Dom as well, what he said a week ago as well, along with De Niro. Who should face this man at Mania? That is the biggest question. We're going to have this gauntlet on Monday Night Raw. I'll touch SmackDown in a bit, but I just want to touch this one here very briefly because I want to hear Pepsi Fields as well. He was there on also with De Niro for Raw Dog with De Niro. We got these 6 men to be in this gauntlet match with the return of Ricochet, finally out of his concussion. I'm glad he's okay.
Yeah.
McDonald's, I don't know how he got to shit himself, but I guess McDonald's. Bronson Reed, once again, congratulations on being a father, which we should look at the best.
Oh, of course.
Nakamura, I don't know why you're putting this man back into the middle card.
Because WWE.
Triple H, you didn't figure it out. Chad Gable, yes. Sammy, yes. Don talked about it last week with De Niro about that. Sammy should be the one. We heard Pepsi Field this past Monday. Could be a triple threat. Should be either Chad, more deserving. But I want to read one more time to hear you guys because I want to see if you guys change your mind or you guys still have the same thoughts. So I'll take it to you, Pepsi Phil. Who do you got on Monday Night Raw for this one? Because I can't wait to Raw Dr. De Niro. I will try. I hope this is the main event for it. Because if it is, I will jump on with De Niro because I'm curious to see who's really gonna fucking win this.
Truth be told, I would like it to be Chad Gable. Chad has worked his ass off, pulled himself out of some of the most terrible gimmicks, and leads one of the most fun factions, which, like you said, because if you think about it, it's almost the exact same Mira Bailey went through with her storyline. Obscurity forms a weird stable. In that stable, wasn't as dominant as say a Damage Control was, but whenever they're on air, whenever they are a legit force to be reckoned with.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like it to be Chad Gable. It can be Sammy, but like you said, I would not be upset if it's Gunther versus Chad versus Sammy, and that means either Chad or Sammy will take the pin. However, Gunther remains kind of unpinned, which makes him a really good viable. And he may lose the belt, wasn't pinned, but at the very least, that puts him in line to literally go after the championship, whoever has that belt. So, in my opinion. So.
No, I'm not going naked, George. Stop.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. I know it's my birthday bash, but I don't need to see anybody poo bearing it. We're good. We're good. For me, I look at the field and I'm with Ivan to the moon. The only reason I think they're putting Nakamura back in this mid card area is because it's WWE. They got nothing else for him, and as much as stuff changes, it still stays the same. And then I look at like Ricochet and JD McDonough, and I'm like, yeah, that's not a WrestleMania match. It's just not. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah,
against Gunther, it's not a WrestleMania. That's a Raw match, maybe at best. So it for me, it boils down to Bronson, Gable, or Sammy. And as much as I love all three of them, Sammy is like Mr. WrestleMania. Like, he made Johnny Knox look good, and then he main evented and won a tag team championship with KO. This is a guy who is WrestleMania tested and bred. Mm-hmm. And the only other person that you could really say that about this whole field is Shinsuke Nakamura, and we've seen that match because who did Gunther take the title from?
That's true. Yeah.
And who did he defend it against already?
Mm-hmm.
In fact, if you look at it, he's pretty much defended against everybody on the screen except maybe Sammy.
Mm-hmm.
So with that in mind, I feel like if you're going to have a WrestleMania match that's going to live up to that bill, to that hype, it's going to be Sammy and Gunther. I don't know if Sammy wins it. I know he said he wants to be a champion. And furthermore, if not Sammy, how do you get Sami Zayn on this card? Like, who the hell is left for him to fight at WrestleMania? Because you can't.
Remember what I said a weeks back. If you remember what I told about, okay, what about before the Chamber? Maybe, I know we're having, like I said, we're 3 weeks away from Mania, so we don't know yet. But I was thinking in the beginning, what about the Logan Paul brothers versus Sami and Kevin Owens? Because I know they're heading into Randy and
Oh yeah, that's what we now we got.
But we don't know yet.
Unfortunately, it looks like we're gonna get Logan Paul versus Randy.
Yeah, it shouldn't be, but it is what it is.
It shouldn't be, but it's bound to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So now that we're getting that, I feel like this is the only avenue left for Sammy Guevara to end up at WrestleMania 40.
Which, I mean, honestly, Sammy with the IC strap is not a bad thing. We've already seen it once.
Yeah, but he's
a whole new person now.
Well, yeah, which I was going to add to what you said. Remember a while back, you said, Dom, you said it like 2 weeks. You said a week ago. You said that Sammy winning it this time clean this way, and not only 2 things he'll get in his price is 1, ending the undefeated streak for Gunther. 2 is winning the belt. And I think this time he will win it more legitly clean. Which I'm not saying he didn't win it clean over there. I mean, he wanted it in a triple threat. You remember when
he kind of got it. He kind of got it in a little sneaky way, but it was different then because the IC title didn't mean what it meant.
Exactly.
Now, this is a historical champion that he could knock off, and he's a completely different person in WWE now than he was the last time he had that belt.
Agreed.
And so it would be a next level win for Sammy Guevara if he could pull it off. But if he loses, it's like, well, it's Gunther. He's beaten everybody. It's not even going to kill his momentum. But if he wins, it could lead to something down the line where it's like maybe it's Sammy versus Phil, your world champion in here, title for title at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sammy versus Seth, or Sammy versus Cody. Sammy versus Cody, title for title, that kind of thing. And then it would feel like a big deal, especially if it ends up being Sammy versus Cody, because Cody knocked off Roman, ended his long reign. Sammy knocks off Gunther, ends his record-breaking reign. Now all of a sudden you've got a common thread to build towards a match.
Mm-hmm. Now, I might you probably guys, you guys too as well give me shit on this. But I guess I'm talking about character-wise, not in ring. Well, that's way different. I'm talking about character. Even it's way different, of course, character-wise, but it's kind of similarity towards it. And I'm not speaking about appearances. It's more about the way how the character is, because it kind of reminds me a little bit Roddy Piper. Like God versus Soul. You know what I mean? You get what I'm talking about, right? Like, how Roddy was the same before he became the Intercontinental Champion. This is like way back, what.
No, that's a really good comparison right there.
No, I get that.
Yeah. That's a really good comparison right there.
Speaking
of underrated. So
yeah. So I mean that very underrated. I feel the same for Sammy on this one. Just the character-wise, I don't know if Sammy studied and watched his films, his promos, everything else, the way how he handled himself, because I don't give a damn what anybody fucking says. And that's another underrated talent in the world. That's Roddy Piper, God rest his soul.
Oh, amen.
Man, that man could give you a mic talk and could make a belt be prestigious. That if anything, or you could be the best chaser in the world with professional wrestling at that era, that time when he was. Doesn't matter where he was.
Roddy would make you pay attention to him no matter what he was doing.
Exactly.
It didn't matter if he had a title or not. It didn't even matter if he was wrestling. Even if he was just doing an interview segment, you were locked in on Roddy Piper was.
I still go back to that segment he did with Jericho.
Oh man, yeah.
I know we talk about Hard Times being one of the great speeches, or even Eddie's speech to Brock being one of the great speeches. That speech right there
Mhm.
Like in a nutshell, if you want to ask someone why you love wrestling, that speech right there goes that guy. What he just said.
Mhm.
Everything he said is why I love wrestling. Not because of the hoops, the jumps, and all that, but the passion that dude has for that business, and we get to see it. We got to see it every night.
Mhm.
Like that's like that right there.
And that's what kind of reminds me of Sammy's his promos and what he does. It reminds me of Piper of that reason. And it's crazy because I went back and I don't know why it hit my head, bro. I'm just like, it hit my head watching Piper before, which I forgot who he beat for the Intercontinental. I forgot, was it I don't know if it was Honky Tonk Man or Valentine. I forgot who the fuck he beat.
I think it was Valentine.
At the time it was Honky Tonk Man.
It was Honky Tonk, right?
It's probably Honky Tonk. But don't quote me on that just yet. But
I think it was Valentine because I don't know if Honky Tonk was quite there yet.
Okay.
He was getting pushed around that time though.
Yes. I know it wasn't Ravishing Rick Rude because I know it wasn't that.
No. That was well after.
So it had to be well after. So it reminded me of those promos because how he was passionate about the world of professional wrestling, how we are, And Sammy does the same thing.
They were both underdogs. So there's that too.
Yeah. And Sammy, we know his career. We all know he's a generico. I was there, PWG seeing him at the time. The times I've gone and man, all that shit's fucking amazing. And I feel as much as I would love to have Chad Gable involved in this because I think there's another man that deserves it too. Very underrated, and he does remind me a lot of Kurt Angle. And I wouldn't mind seeing that a triple threat. I wish I would say, let's say Gunther was, if he was the holder of the U.S. title as well, I wouldn't be mad to be that type, WrestleMania 2000 type of style. How we said it a while back, like about the first fall for the IC, second fall for the U.S. I would not be upset if that would have been happening here in this one, but
no.
But if it is a one title, I will. It's a hard decision for me because I want Chad to get his moment too. But I don't mind Sammy getting his momentum because he reminds me more of Piper. And I think that's something that I feel that he will have. He wins this shit. I feel like the promo that him and Gunther will go at it. I feel
right. But that's what I'm saying. Like you're more invested in Sammy Guevara than you are in any of these other
Sami Zayn. Sami
Zayn. I'm sorry. Too many Sammys back to back, man. We can't do that. You're more invested in Sami Zayn than you are in anybody else on this side of the screen. It's like I love Chad Gable, but Sammy, I'm all in. Bronson Reed is amazing, but Sammy is on another level. Shinsuke is my spirit animal, but Sammy is on another level. Ricochet, I don't even know why you're in WWE, homie. And JD,
what?
That was not a slight. That is just they are not using you at all.
It is not a good fit. It is not.
Look, all I know is that now I know where the fuck Phil got his pimpness from. Fucking Ricochet. Now we know. That's how you know. That's right.
Hello,
that's Phil, baby. That's how you know. Because
it's just
I just wanted to say about Ricochet, this motherfucker. I'm sorry.
I don't care I don't care how this comes off. The glove fit OJ better than Ricochet fits WWE.
I miss Prince Puma.
Okay.
Me too.
Oh, thank you, Brian. So it was the Mountie that he beat in '92 for the IC.
Mountie. Okay, the Mountie.
Okay, we were all wrong. Thank you, Chef.
Thank you. I thought it was Valentine or fucking.
I thought it was Valentine, seriously, but yeah, it was the Mountie. Shout out to Jacques Rougeau, man. That dude is underrated too.
Yeah,
pretty soon we'll have on the show.
He's getting a weird resurgence now. That's the honey part. That's the funny part. Not as a wrestler, but just as a wrestling commentator. He's got a weird resurgence coming.
It's well deserved, man. Jacques was a great talent. He's an amazing trainer.
Another underrated man, right there.
Like, yeah.
I mean, truth be told, Vince, like Venereal Dickhead Machine, is the
Venereal Kink McNugget.
Yeah, He was the reason that we lost Jacques Rougeau because let's face it, he pretty much got screwed in WWE playing the mouth.
Because he didn't
More or
like
less.
the French, fucking asshole. He didn't like the French.
He don't
But-
like anything. Well,
No,
he
he
likes
don't like-
things, but those
Yeah.
things are gonna get him thrown
He
in jail. But
loves
that's
that
another
guy.
story. That's different. That's related.
But
I'm not touching that.
I mean, we're
That's
not.
what she said.
Not in this house.
Whose house?
Where's house?
Psycho's house.
Oh, Jesus.
All right, let's go. We had 2.5 hours.
All I know is that.
But you had to throw that shit in.
It was funny shit.
It was.
All I know is that we'll see on Monday. We'll see how this is
Yeah,
going to go.
it's gonna be
and
interesting to see how it plays out, though.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see. Hopefully our schedule.
Even though I know I'm right because I'm the greatest predictor, it's gonna see. It's going.
we already know. We know, but gives me an idea to do a video of that comparing them, Sammy and Roddy Piper. We might do that. Keep an eye on that, folks. We might do that.
Okay.
You might have to do that. Might have to do that.
Mhm.
That'd be cool.
So so far we just see SmackDown, but we will. I don't know, folks. We may do a debate center tomorrow. Maybe. I can't guarantee you that because we have a busy schedule, but we got a lot of professionals.
I got a busy birthday weekend, y'all. I am not going.
No, it might be Phil and I tomorrow, maybe depending. Because tomorrow, Collision, you have Okada, his first event as AEW full time. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. But this one right here, we saw it. It's gonna happen. So it looks like it is. We're gonna have Dwayne The Rock Johnson and fucking Roman fucking Reigns at a Mania. So look, that is gonna happen.
Yay.
WrestleMania. Because of Cody slapped The Rock. So that's what we saw. I mean, I saw it right now. So there you go. WrestleMania is happening. It's happening, kids. I guess they accepted the challenge. So
yeah, I guess.
I could tell Pepsi Phil you did not.
I mean, the
sound-
challenge was put out there, and then the challenge was remixed, and then the challenge was accepted.
Yeah. I mean, truth be told, yeah, I'm kind of think I'm done with this. I don't really care about the storyline anymore.
I think further truth be told, The Rock don't want no part of Cody one-on-one.
No, he didn't. I mean, seeing the highlights, what I saw as we were going live, I just saw okay, he got slapped, and then and he walked away, and Roman said, "We accept."
I'm sorry. Let me just allow me for a moment because it's my birthday.
Adrenaline in my soul. Something going on. Whoa! That's all we can do. So I mean, I think all fucking three of us predicted this shit since the beginning of the press conference. We all said this was gonna happen.
Yeah,
it was. I mean, I heard everybody else's comments about it, and they're saying this is not gonna be good. Blah blah blah. They're giving ups and downs towards it. I never agree with fucking piece of shit Alvarez and more Uncle Seltzer, but this is really the longest story building that I've seen, and I actually enjoyed it. I am not mad about it. I'm not. It's better this way to fucking build it than not building it very that is so predictable. But we already predicted this was going to happen. But when it comes to the story, I kind of like how it's going. They're not really physically beating the shit out of each other. That's one thing that hasn't happened yet. It might happen, I think, the last week of SmackDown before Mania. That's just my call. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
We'll see.
But I don't know. Now that we know, gentlemen, this is official now. Are you guys are you excited for it? So we're all
not at all.
I mean, to a point, because at least we've got the caveat that if Cody and Seth win, which I hope that happens, but if Cody and Seth win, the bloodline stays out of the title match on night 2.
That's what I'm curious.
And because we all know at this point, watching Snorman's recycled, repetitive ass title match after title match after title match, if it ain't for your family, you'd be fucked. So if Cody and Seth win at night one, you're fucked, and that part has me excited. I will say this is, if just going off what I have known and heard, this is a better course correction than saying, well, we're going to keep Cody out of this main event and make it Rock and Roman. So, I'm excited for little secondary auxiliary reasons. Like, we get Cody in the title picture with the opportunity to have Cody and Roman one-on-one, and we all know what's going to happen if that happens. So I'm not exactly excited for the match, but I'm excited that, we spun this into something different. We kept the story going with Cody and Roman, and now we have Cody's dream opportunity in Philly on the line night one.
I like what Leonard's saying right now too. It's like WrestleMania Friday in Philly is like 1909 all over again when WrestleMania invaded Philadelphia for the first time.
Yeah,
that's very true. Lennox, good call on that.
I completely agree with you on that, Lennox. I was actually there for that one, and it was a lot of fun. And it's got that vibe again. This match is probably the one I'm least excited for, but the outcome is what I'm excited for. If things go the way I see it going, and Cody and Seth get this win, and if you listen to them on Monday, they are fucking ready for this shit.
I can't wait to see what's going to happen on Raw. Now it makes me want to tune in now. It's seeing everything's happening because we got 3 weeks still for Mania.
I was more excited for Ivan's promo video than I was for this match because that shit got me pumped, like totally pumped.
Oh, I know. It's just like this one because we're gonna have to go back and see SmackDown to see how it is. Except for you because it's your birthday weekend, so you go ahead and enjoy yourself.
I still go back and watch SmackDown with my son. Like we do that on Saturdays. I can't do it now because I'm here. I can't.
I know.
I'm like, Dom, what do you think? Huh? What? I was watching.
Yeah. And believe me, I'm gonna try to convince the wife to record this man singing the song with a fucking beer in his hand, singing the Cody song. Whoa! And I gotta put it on social media for everybody for his birthday because I wanted to happen. Kathy, if you're listening to this, Kathy, you better have.
Did you get that on the watch along?
No, the full song because I want you to be standing instead of like sitting down. That's what I want. That's what I want. It's your birthday. And you see, like in Pepsiville with the blue and red can. What the hell, Pepsiville? So but Pepsiville, we're waiting for you. But unless we can move on, What's the last?
We talked about it. We can move on.
He said no. That's what he said, right?
I mean, honestly, no, I'm not. I think Dom's right. The Rock had his time. His time has passed.
You know what I did like though? Fucking Seth did call him mid-crisis.
So don't get me wrong. The concept of
he's not wrong.
He's not. I'm not saying he's not right. He's wrong. He's not wrong either. I'm not saying that was hilarious. I'm sorry, fam. I interrupted you. Go ahead.
It's just one of those things where it's like this storyline, like you said, is longest, but also the most engaging aspect of it. But then eventually that goes away, and that's for some reason,
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait to see how this fucking really turns out. But we can say, like I said, by far we can say that at least it's taking its time. Mm-hmm. It's not like right away because then it'd be too boring. Like let's be honest, like we seen fucking other storylines that McNugget has done that is too fucking predictable. Like James Daniel, what was on? It's like it's the same. So like.
I love that you use that. I'm sorry.
It's stuck in my head, and that's what it is.
I love that you use that. That's.
It's like I don't want to fucking.
You're gonna make me cry again.
Don't make me cry because it's your birthday. But it's just like I don't want to see that again. Like we're not in the fucking A's anymore. This is over.
This shit needs to end. Okay, there needs to be change in WWE because the people underneath me
See, look,
are the
even
past.
Lennox said right now, yeah, it was shocking. Yeah, I saw that. The Rock even walked away off the air. He literally was just like, "Oh, okay."
I loved
nothing
it.
happened.
I'm still
That's
laughing
fine.
about it, as you can see. But the Rock especially, but even Roman, your shit is over. You are officially the past. The present and the future is right there below Ivan.
Yeah, well, it's no longer McNuggets there to help you hold you back. No.
Yeah. Hey, Roman, your daddy's not here anymore.
I don't know if you fucking told them, I love you. I don't know if you told them
your
that,
kinky daddy is not here anymore.
No.
It's over.
Mm-hmm.
It's done.
So,
I'm so tired of both these dudes underneath me, and I'm so looking forward to whatever the fuck Cody and Seth are going to do in the future, because at least you don't know. You don't know. Like, okay, Seth retains against Drew. What's next for him? Where does he go? What does he do? Cody wins. Who's his first defense against? How long does he hold the title? You know, do they bring somebody back to challenge him at SummerSlam? There are vast opportunities. If Roman gets another title shot after WrestleMania, we know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Every time. It's the same fucking thing. It's in the words of that snore fest. It is missionary every fucking time.
That's how he says it, right?
Here comes your family to screw somebody and let you hold this title for 700 and blah, blah, blah days. I don't give a fuck. You did deserve it for 685 of them. What the fuck is the difference?
Speaking of that, you know what the difference is? It's that time.
It should be that time.
It is that time.
I know what time it is.
That's right.
It's time. It's time. It's Vader time. Dynamite!
That's right. Dynamite, folks.
Dynamite.
About to talk about Dynamite.
We
got a new logo. You saw the earlier logo that we put on for Sammy. A new production. I know everybody was clowning.
It's another new era. What is this, like the 5th new era in AEW history? Like every season there's an era.
It is an era. And then in production wise too, everybody like, oh, it looks like NXT 2.0. It looks like NXT, like, oh.
No, it looks like AEW before they changed their shit, because they had all those colors before 2.0.
Wait.
Very true.
As always, you bullshit, Tony Khan.
No, wait. You gotta hold on, man.
He jumped the gun.
Did I though?
Yes, you did.
I'm serious. I'm not gonna sit back and take this fucking shit.
You gonna take? Oh, sorry. You bullshit, Tony Khan.
There.
You bullshit, Tony Khan. You bullshit. That's how you gotta do it.
Ni hao.
Shout out to everybody out there in Asia. But look, I'm gonna get mine out of the way, and I'll hold myself about the main event after I hear you guys' thoughts. But I can tell you one thing. Shout out to Mansoor, who was a formerly part of WWE. He's now went over there, and he kind of helped out the production style for AEW. You could tell that they did. I didn't know that. Yes, he did. So they did a lot of things very differently. The production was very different. I'm pretty sure he probably inputted before the new Dynamite happened, aftermath of Revolution. We should make it colors. Let's do this. I don't know if he did that. Maybe so.
Bring back the colors.
I don't know if people hate it. For me, I don't mind it. Something different. Why not? They need something. They've been having it, 5 years, right, Dom? Like 5 years already?
Yeah, it's year 5.
Yeah, so might as well change it up. You got to change it. They're not NXT, of course. I know everybody's with the colorful, but
they had it before NXT. That's why
Thank
NXT
you. Hey, just do us a favor, Dom.
And then Dynamite changed because NXT changed.
On top rope social media, post it and remind people that this happened before. Can you please do that? I hope you can do that.
I'll see what I can do. I'll be a little busy this weekend.
Yeah, no, I know. But I'm not saying this weekend. Whenever you have the time, just remind people.
I got you.
Remind people. Be like, hey, look, this happened before. Like if people are listening and watching, shout out to everybody out there all over the world. Thank you so much for listening to us and keeping us growing all over the audio platforms. Shout out to everybody in the East Coast. Shout out to everybody in Canada. Shout out to everybody in UK, in Japan, and Vietnam. I surprised in Vietnam to Brazil as well. Everywhere. Thank you for listening to us and continue to listen to us.
Yeah, please. Thank you so much.
And I'm just like, this time I was not bad at all. It was great. I know everybody was just like, oh my God, they're going to do it. Oh my God, they're going to go over the demographics, blah, blah. Let me remind people right here, folks. Dempsey Phil and the Notorious One and myself, we predicted this happening almost a month ago about this was going to happen for him to debut after Revolution. We called it. We knew it was going to happen. Did we go Nettie? No, sorry. I didn't. I'll tell you where I went, Nettie, when I was like, you went heel on us. I can say that are you mad about it? Are you mad about it?
Hell yes.
I know you're not mad about it either. So you said, hell yes. I'm okay with that. So I'm okay with all of that. I ain't going to say it.
I'll bite my tongue, but we may differ there, but I'll bite my tongue.
I'll give you my reasons right now. Maybe you could debate me on that, but that's fine. Go ahead. But I'm saying that overall, I enjoyed Dynamite. And shout out to Brian Cage because he dressed up like the King Puma from Tekken. I love that. That
was cool. That was cool.
Fucking cool. And I was a big fan of Tekken. I used to go every time. Back in the days, I was a teenager. Me and my brother, we used to go by the video store before everything was over videos, before Amazon, all that shit existed, or Netflix. We used to go
arcades
back in the days.
And shit.
Yeah, arcades, go play. Just to go to the video store, play arcades, be there for like 3 hours playing Tekken.
Pump quarters in and shit.
Quarters in and just fucking playing for 3 hours. Then be like, and then go to the next door will be the Tams right there where we used to go eat fucking burgers, take a break, and then come back. Or we'll put like $5 a pop. Like, hey, who's gonna win this potluck? And like it was a tournament. It was awesome. Those Tekken. It's one of my favorite games that I enjoyed. Tekken 1, 2, and 3. I really enjoyed.
Amen to that.
Yeah, man. That's why I'm old school. That's how I look.
I'm with you.
I know. But I can tell you,
grown folks chat right now.
And seeing this Dynamite was great. It's a new direction. Change the world is what their initiative was when they started All Elite Wrestling. This is not what it is to change in the world. Why is this title for the episode? Because the world is changing. We're seeing now a heel Okada, which people don't remember that Okada was a heel before in TNA. He has been a heel, so it's not. But I know it's different because he is, the most popular man in the world of sports. And also, don't forget, people, that Okada signed a 3-year deal. And he's getting paid $4.5 million a fucking year.
Yep.
That is a lot of money.
Not too shabby. Not at all.
Oh, yes.
You paying somebody $13 million. Sam Guevara is looking like a real waste of expense.
13.5 in total. Right. So, and Okada mentioned why he decided to choose AEW, which we already knew he was, because he trusts Tony Khan. He trusts what they allow him to do, and he's afraid of WWE.
I said.
I don't.
Everybody got mad at me, but it's what I said. And you get mad. Read the shirt. Haters are my motivation. Read the shirt.
That's why I mentioned it. I was going to mention that towards the end, but you already killed the key. Got me to it. So yes,
I can't help it.
No, it's fine. It's your birthday. You can do the hell you want. So, but
okay.
Other than that,
let's go.
Seeing Riho and Statlander was actually not a bad match. I feel that we're going to see Statlander heading direction of heel, just like Willow. Why not? Fucking might as well make him heel. I enjoyed it anyways. Good job from both of those women. They did a fantastic job. Darby and Jay White is going to happen. I enjoyed that. Samoa Joe and Swerve. I'm going to say this right now, because I want to get it off my chest why I decided to go first, gentlemen. I apologize. Main thing is that Swerve, the hype is there. Everybody's like, yeah, he should have been a champion. Dom called it. Phil called it. I'm gonna mention you guys' name first because I'm this really you guys said before I even said anything. Because I'm in the middle. You guys said no, he's not gonna win it. Maybe at Double or Nothing, this is his biggest hype where it's gonna happen. You both said that a Double or Nothing is like Mania. This is gonna be like Swerve's hype. You mentioned it earlier. I believe it was Phil that mentioned it about going to face and going like, oh my god, he's gonna be a face. I get that, but is it too soon for him to win the belt? Maybe it is. I can't say that that is not. I can say that it is soon. I can't see him winning that belt yet.
Mm-hmm.
I want him to build his character. I rather keep Swerve as a middleman, controversial, just like what I mentioned about MJF years back before he won the title. Keep him a heel and face. Make him be a fucking dick and be like, whatever, fucking whatever. And just be like Steve Austin. Like, oh, I'm a heel, I'm a face. I would rather Swerve that way. I would rather keep him that way and continue to build this hype. I'd rather give Swerve at least a TNT for now, then later give him that belt. His hype ain't gonna die. His hype is gonna stay there. But if you give him that belt and they say, okay, you know what, I want it. All right, next, I want that belt better.
Okay.
Let's say he drops it. He said, "Fuck it, I'm done." All right, cool.
Now really bite my tongue.
I know. I'm just giving my shit. I know. I know everybody does.
I know. I'm fine. Go ahead.
I know, but
okay.
Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay, what a fucking fantastic match. But I'm gonna save myself on that one. But the one thing that I'll save on because I want to hear you guys thought about that. But the one thing I was just more when I saw the aftermath and the off air was like when I saw Brian and like, yep,
shit's about to hit the fan.
Oh yeah.
That's what
Oh yeah.
Oh, please say that for Woman Stadium. Please do me that, Tony Khan. Do not do it at Dynasty. Do not do it at Forbidden. At fucking no. This crowd in the UK does, and I'm sorry, folks that are listening and here in America or anywhere around the world, and I apologize to say this. Actually, I don't give a I'm not gonna apologize, and you know what? I'm gonna go Joe Rogan because these two men deserves to have, and mainly Will Ospreay deserves to have one of his main events highlight careers in front of 90,000 people that Wembley has been filling up for All In, for him to defeat Bryan Danielson at All In his home country.
Okay.
And here in America.
Okay.
I'm sorry, folks. As much as people want to see here in America, fuck yeah. But I'm sorry. I'd rather see this over there.
Okay.
Because it gives
I hear that.
the biggest closure and the biggest tear in the eye that I will cry too.
How big would it be for Ospreay and AEW to knock off both Danielson and Jericho in the UK?
Ooh, I don't know.
Why the fuck not?
Anywhere, but in the UK especially.
Why not?
But okay.
So, I mean, I'm gonna save myself about the main event when you guys are done speaking about that because I got a lot of things to say about Will Ospreay, but I want to hear you guys' thought. So, Pepsi Phil, floor is yours.
Welcome to AEW. Will Ospreay
2.0.
I mean, yeah. Will Ospreay's doing no real surprise there.
Wait, what? Wait a minute. What's going on here? I want to dump my sticky gold all over Phil's shiny chocolate. And what the fuck is
$3.99 on OnlyFans. I don't know what to
$3.99 at OnlyFans. What?
I mean, I'm a diabetic, so I don't know about that one, but
what the fuck is this? Hold the fuck up.
I mean, I enjoy the fact.
Oh shit!
I'm laughing at the fact you two are asking me, and y'all in charge of these controls.
I didn't hit it. I saw
I
it.
just
and
saw
I was
it.
like,
I just saw it.
I've been saying, fuck it.
It ain't my fault. I just saw it. Like,
Tell me.
yeah. Oh, I'll play for you, Brian. Hold on.
Yeah.
I gotta play it.
Tell me he didn't just say that.
Hey, he did.
He did.
He
He really
did.
did.
Fuck. Hey, I'm sorry, man.
Shit. I got tears in my eyes.
That's all right. That's all right. So, anyway, welcome to AEW Ospreay. I think overall the segments were good. The matches were kind of mid for me, except for the last one. By and large, it was a good Dynamite. So I'm happy about that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, for me, it was a good Dynamite. It was a weird Dynamite because it felt like there was more talk segments in this Dynamite than there were in the last 3 combined. Like they literally just went, "Hey, Renee's in the back and Tony's in the ring, and then we're gonna go here to this interview. They were gonna do that. They were finally gonna have a match." It was like a half an hour of just interview segments straight.
Okay.
We went from like Renee in the back, and then we had Darby talking to Jay White, and then we had then we had the Elite and all that, and I was like, "Are we ever gonna have another match? Like, can we split this up a little bit?" I'm just saying, but overall, it's a pretty good show, and I know Ivan said like he didn't really go all netty in it when Okada showed up, but when he turned heel. I gotta say, I was with the crowd on this one. Like as soon as I heard those coins, I flipped the fuck out. And then when he turned on Eddie and hit him with the Rainmaker, I just went, "What?"
Mm-hmm.
And it's announced that he's now the newest member of the Elite. And I get it because these 3 have a history, but it was not what I was expecting. And Ivan has said for all this time that Okada wants to reinvent himself. Well, the thing is, everybody fucking loves the Rainmaker, and this is a definite reinvention for that man.
Mm-hmm.
Because now not only is he a heel, he's running with like the 2 biggest dickheads in AEW right now because MJF is gone.
Okay.
And with that, I'm going to transition to Swerve because, as I said earlier, it feels like Swerve has picked up the MJF handbook and he is just learning how to be a tweener, how to be the new, everybody's favorite scumbag 2.0. Like he will admit, I have done some wild shit, and I have done some shit that has got me hated, but here I am, and and it really does sound like MJF saying, "Yeah, I wasn't always the greatest dude in the world. I'm still a scumbag," and people are fucking cheering for him anyway. And at that point, nobody said, "Oh, we need to put the TNT title on MJF first because he's never won anything there." They put him straight to the big boy belt, and that is exactly where we need to get Swerve.
Okay.
Revolution did its job because it got Hangman out of the picture. They removed Hangman from AEW if you were listening closely enough.
Well, they suspended him fully, and then they put Kenny Omega is fired from the Elite, not all Elite, from the Elite,
from the Elite, yeah. And so now we've got Hangman and his gripe and his complaint out of the picture. There is, I'm sorry, I don't think anybody cares, but in case you do, I will apologize ahead of this comment. There is no way that Wardlow beats Joe at Big Business.
Mm-hmm.
It's not happening.
Okay.
So we are going to end up with Samoa Joe and Swerve one-on-one. And at that point, you put a title on that man, not just to make history, but because he's fucking earned it.
Okay.
It's like when MJF won that title, he had done everything he possibly could to earn it, and then he took himself to another level when he got it.
Okay.
Swerve has already gotten to that level. The title will be a well-deserved bonus for all his hard work. If anything, that's who Sammy should be talking to. Like, hey man, how are you doing? Like, I've been fucking up for 5 years. You've been here 2, and now you're in this position. How the fuck do I do it?
By not fucking up.
see, that's a grown folk response. But
Fickle. They're fickle.
yeah, I've been consistently saying this about Sammy for years now. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I got tape.
My bad, brother. My bad, brother. Go ahead.
Look, all I can say is I will get shit on what the spot about to say about the main event.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it was fantastic. I fucking enjoyed it. It was awesome. It was, I mean, shout out to Cal Fletcher because that was a match that I think the American audiences finally get to know who Cal Fletcher is in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm used to seeing him in Rev Pro and New Japan. I'm used to it. I'm pretty sure people that are listening to this and watching probably have as well, but majority of our American audiences have not really watched him. This man is incredibly great in the ring. Great storytelling in the ring. Those ring with him and Ospreay have chef fucking kiss.
Oh,
no pun intended, Brian.
No.
But one thing I will get shit on what to say right now about Ospreay. Nothing. Hey, I'm trying to find the right words to say it. Nothing bad of what he's done in the ring. Nothing about that. But when I went back and listen to his media scrum, and when he mentioned the American style of watching and and promos and everything, I heard Seltzer, I heard fucking Alvarez, Sean Rossap, everybody giving the critique that this should have done a video package for him. All of this, I get it. Yeah, they should have. Or they should have done a promo for him to like introduce himself to the world. I don't think they need to. Because Ospreay doesn't need to do that at all. People knows who he is. He's been there and people are not. It's called fucking social media. It's called fucking internet that you're able to YouTube Ospreay. Boom. You'll see what the fuck he is.
Google, YouTube, all
Google
that shit.
it.
Right
all
here.
That shit. They don't need to know that shit. It depends on who and what.
And they've given Ospreay video packages in the past when he first showed up at Forbidden Door. How many times they got to do it?
Mm-hmm. But here's the one thing, and I say this for his health. I don't say this for his critique in the ring. I say it more because this is where I'm really gonna get shit on. I'm comparing this to AJ Styles. There's a reason why to this, and you guys are of course able to correct me on this one. When AJ Styles finally came to the major sports, which is WWE. We know what he's done in TNA, and we know that he is one of the main one of the main head honchos, the biggest, you could say, the mountains for the X division. When he went to Japan, he reinvented his career and really reinvented his style. He still kept the same technique, in-ring abilities, like X division style over there in Japan, because over there in Japan is really, that's their art. Is what they love to see that more than entertainment. Because like I mentioned I always mention this every time. It's just that the culture is different for them compared to our culture in America. And so with Ospreay in the hand, I'm not saying that he shouldn't do what he's done in New Japan style, strong style here in America, introduce it and expose it more. I'm saying to minimize it. Because it was scary when we saw Revolution. We were here and watched it, and we were like, "Oh my god!" Oh, I was cringing. Fucking scary. That I'm thank the Lord that this man did not fucking break his neck or even hurt a kidney or anything that bad.
Yeah, that was.
But true. My thing is, you could minimize your in-ring skills ability that AJ did. Go back and people that are listening and watching and to YouTube as well, go back to an interview. I'm gonna look for it out forward to you guys. AJ even said I don't need to do the moves all of it fully. I don't necessarily need to show off to that point. I'm not saying that Will Ospreay showing off. That's just a style. That's a style. That's it.
No.
I'm just saying is that minimize that style. If now that you're full time here in America, and keep in mind that he's not using his finisher, his actual finisher. He's using the elbow as his finisher, which is fine. It's cool. You're doing it right. That's just the first step. But everything else, minimize a little bit because we don't. The last thing we want is a quick injury and you're out for a year or so, or knock on wood, God forbid that you're out for a long time, or retire because of that injury.
Right.
Minimize your in-ring skill abilities in front of the audiences, and don't be spoiled, people. You've seen it, you can YouTube it, you can see it, but when you see that man in person, you see him on the scene in attendance, respect the man's craft and why he minimized what he minimized. AJ Styles did it. He minimized his craft and why he kept it the same where he's at right now in WWE. Why not?
True.
Why cannot Will Ospreay do the same thing? That's the one thing I would say. Other than that, I'm not saying about his characters or nothing. That's fine with me. My thing is more, this man is not even early 30s. Am I correct? I don't know if you guys want to double check that. I forgot what the ages he is.
Late 20s, early 30s.
I think. So I would not go as far this Dynamite for me seemed far. It was scary as fucking this matchup too. I get it, he wants to impress the audiences. For me, you got me here because you're like one of my top guys of all time. I even said it last year. PepsiCo and I, we did the awards and we said he's like one of the wrestlers of the year. So I think for me, it just really minimized that. You don't have to go all the way. You just take the story as goes in the ring. Whoever you face in the ring moving forward. Doesn't have to be physically every time doing all of that because the last thing you want, Will Ospreay, and I'm not discrediting you what you do in the ring or saying that you're gonna fuck up or anything. I just don't want nothing. I just worried about you physically because I want you to be here. I want you to be here in America for another 4 years. We saw this Dynamite felt like a Forbidden Door Dynamite because it's like you had Jay White, a former New Japan, you had Okada, who made his debut as a former New Japan, Will Ospreay, New Japan. Okay. It's like it felt that kind of way, but then again, it's like now you're gonna have these matches of the years that we're gonna be like, every all fucking day because with Bryan Danielson, you might have Samoa Joe, you're gonna have a rematch with Jay White again, which I'm looking forward to see. Right. Okada in America finally to see. Kenny Omega we're gonna see. There's so much shit, and Okada could deliver too, and Jay White will deliver if they head in the right direction. It's just for me, it's really more about Will Ospreay's in-ring performance. He doesn't have to go overboard every Wednesday night. He doesn't have to, or Fridays or Saturdays on Rampage or Collision. He doesn't need to. He could just minimize it, lower it, do here and there. Watch your health because your father, you here in America, you can hear spray. You're gonna hear that no matter what. Okay, we love you, but that's just me. You guys,
I agree. I mean, I think if you see some of his other, like if you go and you watch, Jericho at All In and in the match he had, he was very toned down in that. And I think these two matches that he had with Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher, I mean, as amazing as they were, I think he kind of ramped it up to show people exactly how talented and tough these guys can be. Because it definitely felt like the old Will Ospreay, and the comparison to AJ is very accurate. And the thing about AJ was he kind of toned down gradually, and Ospreay has done that because he was a straight up spot monkey who looked like he was going to kill himself when he first started out. And now he's added a lot to his game, and you see that in matches with like Jericho or matches with whoever. And these were kind of the exception to the rule. Unfortunately, the exceptions can get you fucked up. Thankfully, that didn't really happen here. But the matches, the matches themselves were top notch, and I believe he will continue to tone down and still have the fans behind him, regardless, like AJ did. Because there's a long time between AJ's debut and then that lone wolf type style, and then what he brought to New Japan that eventually transitioned to WWE. And when AJ got to WWE, he was in his fucking 40s. Will Ospreay's barely 30. You know, like it will continue to happen. He will continue to evolve, and that's one of the things that makes me love Will Ospreay is that he has improved in leaps and bounds from just what I saw of him at the beginning, even prior to New Japan, to what I'm seeing today.
Okay.
And he will continue to work and continue to grow because he's not young, dumb, and full of cum like Sammy Guevara. But that's beating a dead horse. I'm sorry. I had to get that in.
Okay.
I really feel, especially with Kyle Fletcher, who absolutely looked amazing in that match. Even the new do was fucking tight, man. Like I was feeling that. I'm just gonna put that out there. They had an absolute knockdown, drag out war, and I think that was the way it was supposed to be. It was Will's way of kind of putting these guys and the Don Callis family over while getting his at the same time. This is his Cody treatment. Only Cody is way more toned down than Will Ospreay. Way more. Unless you light a table on fire. I don't know why you did that.
I can say, I know you brought up Cody, and I'll say it very quick so I can live before Phil goes. It reminds me of, you remember, like TNA, Christian Cage, when, you know how you mentioned about that, right? You know how, like, Christian Cage went to TNA and he changed his spring in-ring styles, and we saw the same thing with Cody. It was kind of like, what the fuck? Who's this guy? And like we kind of saw where he's, I mean, he matured, you know, like the same with Christian. I feel like he matured in TNA, and he developed his style that he'd been wanting to do. It's kind of the same here on this one, like how you mentioned about Ospreay. He could do that too, but like I said, it's his timing. And like I said, you know, and just repeating what I said earlier is we're not here to critique his in-ring abilities. It's really more about his health. Because we want him to be more.
Oh, no, it's concerns. It's not critique. You know, like we're worried about you, dude. We want you around. We enjoy you. It has nothing to do with the talent. That he's an unbelievable talent. The only thing I'm saying is like watching him and Kyle Fletcher gave me flashbacks of like the first Dynamite and say Cody and Sammy.
Okay.
Where a lot of people that didn't know Sammy before that match came away going, wow. A lot of people that may not have known Kyle Fletcher or known him well came away from that match going, wow. Mark Davis might be out of a job. Kyle Fletcher looked that good.
No, I think I might see the United Empire reunite here and might go after, you know,
the family.
Yeah, they might get a third person involved in that. So I mean,
who knows? Maybe they'll get Sammy back.
They probably will. You never know. How do you feel? Do you feel the same or you feel different about it?
It was, and like I said, for me, the highlight truly was. I mean, I'm not gonna say Okada wasn't because God is fucking Okada. I mean,
Temple, what's going on, Temple?
Oh, Temple, don't apologize, man. I'm just glad you showed up for my birthday, homie.
So here's the interesting thing about Okada, and I go back to what you said, Ivan. He's coming here because he wants new challenges. He's coming here because he wants to redefine himself and get that old fire back about being a wrestler. I'm not gonna lie to you. When he first came out, before his heel turn, I was like, same Okada, nothing special. And then he did the heel turn, and I went, that is a bold move because Okada is beloved.
Yeah.
So him becoming a heel, that is a testament to him wanting to really do something different with himself,
reinventing himself.
That is like so.
And not only that, but not only that, him turning heel makes a lot more sense when you look at the reaction Will Ospreay is getting because we know that at some point,
Oh
So,
yeah.
so I think they're going to hold off on that for such a long time because I think they're going to enjoy Okada
Oh, I'm
being.
not saying right away,
But
because he's got to establish himself as a heel too now. But
yeah,
at some point in the future, those two are going to meet again, and
mm-hmm,
there ain't going to be this love fest. It's going to be, we love
mm-hmm,
Will Ospreay, Okada, boo, and you're going to get this clash of
yeah.
titans.
No, you're right. I mean, that's what that, and then that's the exciting part. Seeing Osprey, as far as I'm concerned, in 2 weeks, the man had, if not 5-star, close to 2 5-star matches
In 5 days.
in 5 days, literally less than a week.
I call it a 24 pack. That's what I call it.
Yeah.
Hit the
So-
music. I'm about to do a Psycho Rooney.
Now I do admit he probably did it that way specifically to go, not only to put the fans on notice, because there's because let's face it, we have been overly excited about Will Ospreay for honestly almost the last 5 years of AEW since Forbidden Door was announced.
Yeah.
So I think this was his coming out party for people on the mainstream, as mainstream as you can get for AEW, but on the mainstream about who he is and what he can do. So I'm excited for that.
I remember that, Temple.
I
actually thought you were full of shit at the time, and I apologize. I was terribly wrong.
So it'll be good. And I mean, Temple's right. It'll be interesting to see Okada as a heel. And I just hope it isn't the I Hate America heel.
I hope they don't go to that route because that'd be stupid. You
can see the route they're going when you see them with the Bucks. It's
yeah,
so,
but I don't see him being as annoying as the Bucks are, but I do see him like capitalizing on the hate that they'll get.
No, they'll just be his, mouthpieces, so to speak.
Yeah. So we're waiting. So, long story short, for Dynamite,
Ren and Stimpy, Jesus.
I know, Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah. Longest short of this is they're setting up for big business and they're setting up for the next pay-per-view, and they're doing a good job. They're doing a really great job of it. So I'm excited to see what they do next. And honestly, it was nice to see Kyle Fletcher in front of the camera in a big ring.
I did too, Tim.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, you were.
But seriously though, it was nice to see Kyle Fletcher show out. Because honestly, I don't think Kyle Fletcher gets enough credit. Because he got Will Ospreay to go against. Like, I think Kyle Fletcher is probably as talented as Will. So seeing those two go was a joy for me.
I loved it. I really did, and I can't wait to see the future for him in AEW. How they're going to book him, and I'm hoping that they help him storytelling and developing. And also, if people didn't notice that in AEW, like the production as well was very different. Like it was, you could tell that it was kind of like the camera views, everything was kind of like okay, kind of way different. So I know that Mansoor has a lot to do with it, and he did really helped out a lot with it. So we here in the debate network, we pay attention to details. Besides the match, we pay attention to everything in details of it.
Oh yeah, all that stuff I really enjoyed. I was just, no offense, like leave the talking to us. You don't need 40 minutes of straight up talk.
Yeah,
like just consecutively. Like, all right, let's break this up with a match, and then we will get the Bucks out here or some shit. Like, what the hell?
That's what
Eddie Kingston throwing the money at the Bucks, saying, you said the next time I run my mouth, I'm gonna get fined. Well, go ahead. That killed me.
But I'm really excited though. Like, I'm really excited for big business. We're definitely gonna talk about that next week. I know there's a lot of things that we could go hours to talk about happening. I'm gonna save that for next week because we heard Mercedes already's interview that she had recently. That's something that a subject we could touch for another time because we may see her next week. We already know what's going to happen. I'd rather save that for us so we can combine it together because then we could give really our thoughts of that overall. Because we may see a big debut, back-to-back debuts. So this is why I put the title of this episode "Change the World," because the world is changing in AEW. Because now it's really you're having all these there's so much I could really debate about and digress about, but I'm holding myself because I want to see what direction they're heading to.
Okay.
Dynasty, because I don't want to jump the gun as of yet. I want to see what stories they're gonna do. But other than that, I mean, but I don't know if they'll do you heard Dom and I about Will Ospreay performance, and should he minimize it, or I didn't hear your thoughts about that. Should he minimize it, or what do you feel that he should do?
Okay.
I'm asking you, what do you think he should do?
We'll wait and see, honestly.
So you're you're waiting with Okada. I'm sorry, I can't mention Okada. Will Ospreay, I'm saying that's my
same thing with Will Ospreay. I mean, you heard the man. He only got 3 things planned. Get that man a championship, retire Billy Gunn, and get a Nando sponsorship. God damn it! That's all the fuck he needs.
That's all he needs. And you know,
honestly, that is the most wholesome list I have ever heard. Frankly,
and I love it.
I love it.
And
to close it out here, folks, before we do, it's time to do it because it is that time.
We sing it.
Yes, we are.
You are not.
Strike up the band. To you. Your birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Because of you.
Happy birthday to Delorean.
Shout out to Dom's mom for doing the right thing. Happy birthday, brother.
Thank you. Shout out to my daddy for not pulling out. Psycho out.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Psycho for the win. Ooh, that was.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Happy birthday, yeah.
This is wonderful.
Oh, hold on. You asked for it.
Wonderful.
No,
it is wonderful.
Happy birthday, man. Take care. Take care of yourself on it. Just have a good time.
You know, when you get this old, it's not really special. When you get guys like you doing shit like this, then it feels special.
Can you bring up that Temple comment again?
Yeah.
The one about Kyle Fletcher. So here's an interesting thing, Temple. I think on some level you're right. On another level, I think Kyle Fletcher is the multiverse Will Ospreay. So,
he's like the Miles Morales to Will's Peter Parker.
Exactly. So it's not like one's better than the other, but they're just like,
Kyle Fletcher is damn good though. Like I knew it before Wednesday, but if anybody didn't know, watch that match.
Honestly, it was the prettiest match I have seen in a very long time, and that's from the week before where they had an amazing match with Will Ospreay. So hopefully it's a sign of things to come. It's literally like I think this is one of those things where it's like you got new blood in there and you got like legitimate So here's the thing I enjoy. No one can complain that they get their talent from WWE who got released from WWE. They got legitimate talents from other places.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone who says that can shut the fuck up because now they got talent from Japan and these guys are coming in and I think it'll be a nice. And this is not to say the locker room is a problem, but I think it's a nice quick kick in the ass for the locker room to step their game up. Because I'm sitting there going, Will Ospreay had his match, and but for the grace of Sting, it would have been the main event.
Oh, it would have. Yeah.
Yeah. Easily.
I like that tempo. What he's mentioned right now. Oh my God, Noah versus fucking New Japan right there. Oh my God. Shutout versus Okada Wembley. I don't mind that.
All right, Takeshita and Okada, that's a generations match right there if you think about it.
It is.
That's new generation versus old generation.
That's true.
That's like a young lion going to the test with Misawa right here type of style. Like I say, like kind of Misawa, or I can even fucking say or Nagata, because even though Nagata's still
and Okada Takeshita should happen at some point.
And not only that, but bringing this talent in from New Japan, as we've all said, like the dojo there doesn't play. These guys all came from it.
I said it before Temple, sorry, Dumb, but I already said it before you came on. I
feel like
did.
that shit's happening before Wembley, like sooner than that.
They better not do a dynasty, man. I hope not.
Bringing all this talent in, at least it could lead to a more disciplined locker room.
Yes.
AEW.
Yeah.
Which is something that they have needed for a long time. If this is what you mean by the new era, then I'm with it.
I agree with you, but I think it's not as bad as it used to be.
I could debate that.
I think right now the discipline was already high, because I think with the Punk thing, with the booking and the storylines, that at one point they felt like they were very floaty. Mm-hmm. I think right now with the new period, now I'm saying new era, I think it is disciplined enough to go, but I think right now you're right. I think there's a new layer of accountability thrown in, because at this point it's like we have Okada for a god-awful amount of money. We have Will Ospreay, who is a blue chip potential franchise player. Yeah. And we got MJF, who always is solid. So everyone else beneath him, it's you got to wake up and realize you can't just be showing up thinking you getting a check.
No, so and then you got Jay White, you got Takeshita,
yeah, exactly.
All these guys who have been through that type of system and been taught from day one, discipline.
Who are self-disciplined as well. They don't need They don't need minders. They don't need minders.
Right.
Like people do.
Mm-hmm.
So
and
I think
that. Mm-hmm. And on that note, folks, it's that time. Dom, hit it. It's your birthday. You know you love to hit it.
Oh! I wasn't even in it because I didn't know we were done. Give me 1 second. Going back up. Where the fuck are you? You will be here.
You know you gotta hit it.
Autobots, transform and roll out.
Oh, that is right. I know you
love that.
I know you do. Oh, I see. 21 again. Yes, he is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. 21.
Oh,
thank you, Dango.
We gotta have you back here on the show.
Appreciate you guys, man.
That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But there's that time, folks. And I appreciate you all for tuning in and watching us here this Friday night. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. Just like Birthday Boy over here is going to be enjoying his birthday weekend. So I know he's going to be busy as hell. So he's going to be birthday and yeah. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Notorious. Happy birthday.
Right. I love you, bro.
All right. No offense to my brother, but I need to get some sleep soon.
You think this is a game to me? I served hard time.
He served hard time.
Was that before his wedding or after?
Oh, afterwards, before his wedding.
The hard time always comes after the wedding, typically after the honeymoon.
I love the fact, like I said, I love the story. He got booed at his own goddamn wedding.
I speak from experience. Okay.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you follow the social media platforms, make sure you comment, and there'll be a little thing for the Notorious for his birthday on Sunday. Comment, send him a message, send him a happy birthday. We follow him on Facebook or on the Top Pro Wrestling Talk. We get a page. Do that. Wish this man an incredible.
No?
I want some cake. Well, he's gonna have more than a cake. I'll tell you that. He might go for child number 2. You never know. No. He's saying that now. Yeah.
You're lying.
Attempts will be made, but they will be failed.
No.
Why would you play games with me?
That's real talk.
Tranquilo.
Yeah, I'm key a little bit because you never know. You never know, Craig, because you never know. Because right here on the Debate Network, folks,
the world, Craig.
Hey, you said it.
World.
The world.
That's right. The world. Where the fuck is that shit? Jesus, that's some shit. I need to look for this damn thing. Where the fuck did I put it? See, there it is.
World, Craig. Shit, not just the city, the world.
the world that we do here at the Debate Network here, and of course, wishing happy birthday to our hermano, the notorious one, DOM. We love you. Have an incredible birthday,
I
man.
love y'all.
Man, we have been killing this show because of you and everyone here. And if you're new to this channel, folks, subscribe and follow us because we want to hit that 600.
Hit that like button, get us in that whole YouTube algorithm thing. I don't know how it works, but the like button is involved, so do it.
And also, if you're watching this on Twitter, you right there. A lot of new things are coming, especially for Discord. Coming soon, we'll be on Discord. Coming soon, we'll get pretty soon live calls. We don't know. A lot of things are happening here in this network, folks. For all of you guys,
we always got some shit going for real. Always,
we do.
Exactly.
But I kind of wish I had. I never let you. Because for Phil's theme song, I wish I could have that because he's $3.99. But let the people know where can they find you, baby.
Hello, ladies.
Y'all can find me on Instagram, PhilipJT24601. Look for the profile. You get all my links. And I'm only saying it that fast because I'm freaking tired.
I know I know. You me too. I still got to go do some shopping.
We done broke our rule about the no 4-hour rule.
I know the wife's already telling me
it's not 4 hours yet. It's like 3.5.
I know we were saying 2.5, but
it's a quicker show.
We were shooting for 2.5.
I know we tried, but
we got to crawl before we can walk. Okay, it's shorter. Get over it.
It's WrestleMania week, man. So we got to do a lot of these things, and that's for sure.
Oh, that's right. It is. Oh man, the watch along for that's gonna be crazy.
Oh, I know. Brought to you by Pacific Blue. We'll talk about that. But man, notorious one. Let the people know.
Well, first and foremost, thank you to these two for making my birthday such a big deal. And shout out to everybody, Dango and Temple and Brian and everybody that wished me well. I appreciate it. Kayla. I love all y'all. And if you don't know by now, you can always find me on the X at Top Rope WT. You can search for the greatest group on Facebook, Top Rope Wrestling Talk, and invite yourself. We got March Mops going on. We got Psycho Sunday Cinema if Brian is willing. We got a ton of shit. Just daily content. You'll love it. And then of course you can always follow us at the greatest Instagram handle ever that the birthday boy made. And that is at Top _rope _wrestling _talk. I got nothing else.
What I will also say is Top Rope, the Facebook group, is a non-toxic place for wrestling fans.
Amazingly non-toxic.
Exactly. Unless Bruce decides to start trolling people.
Yeah, that's the one problem. But we can't kick him out because he founded the fucking shit.
I mean, it is.
I love it.
It is still funny though. So
yeah.
Enjoy my popcorn.
Knee slapping. Slapsticking. It's funny.
Both. Yeah. I'm sorry.
I have to get a thesaurus. You keep pressing this button.
Drink a beer?
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Okay, I wasn't expecting that one. Thank you.
All right, let's get out of here. We getting punched.
All right, we're gonna get out of here. But Temple will answer your question tomorrow in the chat.
Wait, what's he?
Yeah, they are getting trained by Sting himself. So.
Yeah, they are. But although I heard they are doing some traveling, and they've been doing some work with Lance.
Mm-hmm.
Not fucking Armstrong. God damn.
Lance Storm.
Lance Storm, thank you. I'm like, Lance Armstrong, the fuck?
They ride bikes, man.
Lance Storm.
Whatever, you confuse Sami Zayn and Sammy Guevara.
Yeah.
Sammy Guevara and Sami Zayn are a lot closer than Lance Storm and Lance Armstrong.
They
Okay?
both named Lance.
But they're in different professions.
I cannot believe this shit.
Once is the greatest and one of the greatest wrestlers around. The other did a lot of drugs to ride a bike. I know.
What's up with that?
Exactly.
On that, folks, gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let Dom close it out here, but you already know that on the Debate Network, Top Pro Wrestling Talk, Circle Debate, Title of my podcast. I know Title of my husband. They'll be back next week for UFC 300. Yeah, because I know Chris has been busy because he's been doing album and a music video. You should see. He'll be back soon.
Yeah.
Rockstar stuff. That's why he hasn't been on the show as much. But yes, you already know that, especially with the OnlyFans here 309, we don't just do OnlyFans, podcasting, karaoke night. We'll probably do.
Diversify.
We diversify.
Like Wu-Tang said.
Diversify your bomb.
Yeah, I knew it. I fucking knew it. I was waiting for that shit.
We do that too.
No, we do all of that, but I'm gonna
like Wu-Tang. We for the people.
That's right. Wu-Tang, baby. Wu-Tang
for the children.
Them too.
That's right. Because right here we do a lot of things.
I got the shakes that'll make you quake. I got the fries that'll cross your eyes. I got the burgers that'll. I just got burgers.
I love that clip.
But I'm gonna let Dom close it out here for us. Close it out, brother.
Oh shit! Well, like he said, here at the Debate Network, we don't just run around making rock albums, get up on Sirius XM radio, do podcasts, make people pay for our OnlyFans, celebrate our birthdays. We make history.
But you forgot the other one too, yours.
Oh yeah, and everybody. I mean, there's a ton of shit. So enjoy if you missed something from Friday night because you were watching us. Enjoy Collision and enjoy wrestling in general. If it's not your cup of tea, let somebody else drink it.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. We'll see you hopefully tomorrow. Maybe we don't know yet. Stay tuned.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Must bid you adieu. A goodbye. Mwah. And good night.
Bang! Yes!